like a Hellcat. Coming like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. Coming like a hell. Like a Hellcat.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the Free Fire Max Asia Cup presented to you by Lidoma India Pakistan Qualifiers. This is me, Insane, your host tonight, and I have alongside with me my brother Raider. Raider, how are you? And are you excited for the matches?
Yeah, indeed. Excitement is going to be a short word for this whole scenario because I guess today we saw that how Indian qualifiers went out. Now the Pakistan qualifiers are about to be there. Giants from Pakistan are going to be there to just, let's say, get qualified for the next upcoming stages. This Asia Cup is not going to be a short cup to be precise because the battle is between the teams from Asia as well. A lot of teams are going to be there. A lot of countries are at stake. So I guess patriotism is also going to be at stake. So I think the competition is going to be surreal. But today we are going to witness 12 teams, if I'm not wrong, from Pakistani region, and we are going to witness that how they're going to set forth the carnage and the battlegrounds is going to be there soon enough. Let's see who is going to take the first booyah until the next one.
These teams are not simply the team. These teams are indeed the giant, the very big
Indeed,
giants
indeed.
of the country, Pakistan. And let's see how far along they can go. And if you look at the maps, map number one is always going to be Bermuda. The number two map is going to be
Mm-hmm.
Purgatory. Then we'll have coming in at the third place, Kalahari. Then fourth match, again, 4, 5, 6, Bermuda, Purgatory, Kalahari. 6 matches. All the teams are going to battle. Now, throughout the 6 matches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see whether there's going to be a couple of booyahs repeated by a couple of teams, or in every single game we get to see different names. Hopes are too high, the stakes are too high. It's the real deal. It's the real battle because here it's not just about the country. It's not simply about the team that are in one single country. It's about
Mm-hmm.
the teams, and it's about the battle among the nations. Which nation has come up with the best talent? We'll get to see throughout. It is still the first phase.
I mean, after it is known as the Asia Cup, so a lot of
Yes.
teams are going to be there. The champions are going to be there anytime soon. But eventually, if I talk about the start, I guess the carnage is already setting forth. We are going to witness a lot of fights coming up in these Pakistani regions and see that how these teams are going to actually come up with the fights and how they're going to use the kind of gun game. And is it going to be defensive fights coming up, or is it going to be much more aggressive? And we're going to witness quite a few things. I hope that we are going to see, let's say, the full potential. But then again, quite a few teams are actually going to hide their own strategy so that they can eventually give that element of surprise in the upcoming stages or the last days of the qualifier, because we have seen quite a few teams performing like that,
Yes.
that eventually from the start they try to play passively, they try to accumulate average points. Just like if I talk about, well, I don't think so we should actually coin some names from Indian region, but then again, I guess the things are actually going to be pretty lucid at how the teams are going to fight. Is it going to be aggressive one? Is it going to be defensive one? Or the teams are actually going to pan out some new strategies? We'll be seeing it very soon.
Reddit, this one thing you mentioned, that the teams are not really going to put up their real show. They
Yeah,
are somewhere down the line. They are, they won't be playing their natural strategic gameplay.
indeed.
Yes, I do believe in that because currently I would say all the teams are very confident among the teams in the first round, because Pakistani region, all these teams have been competing among themselves for a longer time. And right now, I would say they would want to play a little bit of passive game. All they want is that to be in the top three. Top three going to the next round, then there the real deal is going to start, the real struggle, the real battle. And there we go, the very first match, Bermuda. Look at the cinematography, the cinematic shots. And we can see Black Fox. If you look at the plane path, it's a straight line plane path from 1 o'clock to 7, I would say. The teams are going towards their preferred drop location. I'm expecting a couple of drop clashes, but let's see. In the Indian region, we did encounter very few drop clashes, but then again, the teams who are playing a little bit of defensive approach, they wanted to be safe, they wanted to qualify, they wanted to retain their top three spot. So let's see. I have high hopes from this particular region as well. The competition is going to be too high.
I mean, the competition is actually for sure going to be high, but at this moment, as you can see, Forever is already losing one of the those amazing guys. And if I talk about this particular member, that is Sadhu. He's actually going hammy. He's actually connecting quite a few good shots at this moment. Let's see how the casualties are going to get built. If I talk about Team RTR, definitely they are also trying to hunt for more and more position points, and eventually, along with that, we have a dropless like situation coming up. Oh, look at the number of teams which are here right now. I guess close to 3 or 5 teams are actually there.
Yes, if you look at the team for DR, Sasuke, the power of Uchiha. Let's see, Sasuke. the man with the Sharingan. But is he the man with a better gun? Let's see. Better skill set, better gameplay. Who's gonna win the battle forever? Jack YK. They are one man down, but right now I don't really think they can run away from this particular spot, because right now we have a couple of teams right in front of them. They cannot simply get into the battle, or they cannot simply try to escape. They have to get into the battle. The battle is already at the doorstep. They have to engage. They have to bring out the best result, then fall back and bring in their best men back in the game. Right now, NC, this team is a little bit in trouble right now.
Indeed, the trouble is coming up. You can already see a lot of bloodshed and shots are coming up. If we talk about this particular guy, Boxer is actually performing equally well. Surprise on the other corner manages to surprise quite a few teams, and getting some good blows is going to be the call out. Well, at this moment, if we talk about the next fight, I guess Team RTR is also wreaking havoc on the teams, and that is going to be quite chaotic. Look at that, beautiful vector shots coming up, and just like that, the new kill leader is going to be Yoto.
Yes, and the DP, this team has been suppressed, and Anthony, quite a good approach. See, this is one particular meta that we've been encountering for so long. Every time a team gets into a fight, when the chips are down, when the three guys are in trouble, there's always a guy who is already standing at a backup space. He falls back right at the moment when the team gets down. His only job is to escape and bring back the teammates so that they can make a good comeback. So far, I think Anthony is doing pretty well when it comes to that particular meta and bringing back the teammates.
Indeed, the meta is coming up. If we talk about Agent at this moment, he's also closing up on the enemies. And let's see how the shots are going to be there. And there we go. Agent manages to put one down. Can he actually finish him off is going to be a bigger question. On the other corner, if we talk about RL, Malik is actually trying to perform equally well. The Booyah is actually going to be there. Plantation is the area where these teams are fighting. These teams are getting some good blows. Well, it is going to be quite interesting to watch out that how the fights will be calibrated. Wanted precisely, if I talk about him, he's actually trying to close in. But still, not even a single casualty is coming up on their particular perspective.
Yes, of course. And if you look at the team TE, Wanted, Hamza, Rabi, Afan, all the four players, these four guys are pretty confident when it comes to the game. These guys are pretty confident when it comes to the rotation. But we are yet to see whether they are confident enough when it comes to the fight as well. The gun game, I'm 110% sure every single guy that is in the lobby has got his own set of skills. But the real deal, the real question arises, the real question over here is, how far and long are these players gonna survive? How far along? Which team is gonna get the very first booyah? But right now, there's a good fight happening. Malik is not gonna let the other guy escape. He has taken one man down, and they want to go and secure a few more frags. And there you go, couple more frags in the pocket. Team RL looking very confident. 4 frags right off the bat. That was 1, 2, 3, 4 kill conversion. That too convincingly.
Indeed, the finishes and the kills are coming up, no doubt on that. If we talk about Snake Eye, he's again hunting for the next casualty, and meanwhile they have to actually rotate and get into the play zone as well. If we talk about Rosie, well, of course, there we go with that vehicle. He's just actually trying to crush somebody, or let's say just decipher where the fights are coming from. But surprise, got surprised by a beautiful attack coming from the back end areas. If we talk about Rosie, let's see how he's going to perform. RL Enigma once again in the vehicle, trying to go up and get that finish into his cover.
Yes, of course. And Enigma, Malik, Jester, and Taimur. All the 4 guys, they've managed to secure 5 frags so far. Enigma is absolutely on a roll. This guy is not going to stop. 4 frogs in the pocket, that too very smoothly. This guy is making these frags look very smooth and easy. But trust me, these frags are not easy. Not at all easy. Every single guy in the lobby has got his own set of skills. I have talked about this particular point earlier as well. And the way these guys are playing, exceptional. I think these teams are indeed going to give a tough competition throughout the Asia. All the other teams that qualify from other regions, these teams are definitely going to put up an alarm for them.
Definitely, the competition level is actually going to rise, because I'm stoked to see that how these Pakistani teams are actually trying to perform. They are very aggressive at their own kind of stats. They are actually trying to get some good blows there. From the start of this particular fight, I guess, from the start of this particular match, I believe teams are constantly wreaking havoc. Teams are constantly getting some good blows, and that is absolutely amazing to watch for us as a caster. But then again, if we talk about the strategies, I guess that is something they have to be worried about, because if they are unable to perform equally well, in the upcoming zones if they are unable to survive. I guess kills are going to matter quite a bit, but then again, you have to actually go with the number of position points as well, because the consistency between these two things are actually going to boost your performance a lot. And we all know the MVP is at the end of the day going to be the leaderboard.
Furthermore, at this point of time, I think we have pretty much understood that Asia Cup is the event where every single one of these teams would want to play as passive as possible.
Right.
They don't want to take any single risk because they've already understood what it means, to actually get into a fight, risk it all, risk the glory, risk the win. And right now, if we talk about risking and everything, Team NC is risking and they're winning. This team is comfortably winning the battle. AS not in a good spot, but since the two men are still standing tall, they can still try and make a comeback. We have 11 teams still surviving. 7 minutes into the game, the battle has come down to 36 guys.
Oh, indeed. 11 teams, 36 souls. They're surviving. They're trying to perform. And look at the blows coming up from Viz's corner. Constantly wreaking havoc. And just like that, Agent is, I guess, out of equation very soon to be. And on the other corner, if I talk about Viz, still the blue zone damage is actually coming up, no doubt on that. And the zone is actually pushing up quite a few players. And if I talk about teams like, let's say, on the northern, let's say, western corner, the teams are actually getting crushed quite a bit by the particular play zone. But right now, on the other corner, if we talk about this particular team, pretty much comfortable. Yes, of course, they have a squad nearby in the vicinity, but then again, they are not that near to just take up a fight with them.
All right, that's quite a great drone shot. Kudos to the production team that they are coming up with such cinematic shots, such beautiful drone shots, because it is always a beauty, absolute cherry on the top, absolute treat to watch such shots. But right now, talking about the actual real deal, Team RL with 7 frags in the pocket, they've comfortably secured. I should add the word comfortably because this battle is a tough one, is actually very tricky one. Yet every single guy in the lobby, he is making the battle, he is making the kill look so smooth, so easy that any XYZ guy that is watching, he would want to get into the fight. He would simply want to get into the arena with these guys and have a brawl with them.
Well, see, this is no doubt one of those stages where you have the best of the best teams coming from their own respective regions. But then again, this is the filtration period. This is the period where you are going to get the cream of this particular lobby. But at that moment, if we talk about TGZ, look at that, how beautifully Team RL's Enigma and just about of them have been taken down. Now, if we talk about Malik and Temur, they have to come back. They have to pull through for their particular teammates and eventually get them back in the game, or should I say, get the gist of this particular fight getting covered up. This is day number 1, match number 1. The map is Bermuda, as you all know. Next up, we are going to hold Purgatory, and after that, Kalihari is also going to be there. But for the moment, if I talk about Temur, he's constantly trying his level best to just survive a bit more. But the shots, well, they are not going to decline. Oh, what was that? Man, that's chaotic.
Yes, indeed. That was indeed a chaos. But right now, Team Forever, one guy gets down. Atif is still surviving, but Fazu this time. This was the moment where Fazu has taken the knock, but he has to come back stronger because his team really needs him right now. At the moment, I would say every single team that goes into the key circle, that goes into the prime critical circles, if they have the man number, they'll be able to have a good spot. If not, then they'll simply get erased or deleted from the lobby.
Indeed, that is going to be quite chaotic. They have to just survive. If we talk about AS, Mr. AJ is actually coming up with his own kind of strategies. He's outside the play zone. I guess he's trying his level best to res his teammates. But on the other corner, if we talk about Gentle, look at that. The colors coming up in these small circles is absolutely amazing. Quite a few teams are surviving at this moment, but then again, their survival is not going to be an easy task. If we talk about the manpower, look at that, how beautifully these players are, these teammates to be precise, are actually maintaining their own kind of manpower. But in the regions like, let's say, on the northwestern corners, we are seeing some solo man standing as well, so that can be quite critical. But the players which are trying to just come down and survive a bit more, they are getting attacked, they are getting shot down, and you can already see that the bloodshed is not stopping.
Actually, is it a plane, is it a bird? There were a couple of free frags falling down from the sky, and TE wanted to get the frags. Actually, this is quite a coincidence that TE wanted to how do I say? TE wanted to have a couple of more frags from Forest team from the sky. They were actually the free frags. If a couple of guys come down on you from the sky with no guns, it is indeed a free frag. And if we're considering the size of the circle, the players who have a rock solid compound, they are in a comfortable spot. But then again, there are a couple of other players as well who are running out in the open, which is going to be a little bit tricky for them. Because if you go out in the open, the other guys are definitely going to put up an eye on you, and they are going to take an aim. They're going to lock the chamber and take a couple of shots at you, which obviously is going to take you down, push your team back in the game. But right now, that was a great grenade. That was a well-timed grenade. One frag, easily going into the pocket. And there you go.
Well, Shanky at the moment is pretty much ruthless. The way he is picking up the frags is absolutely amazing. On the other corner, if I talk about Team YK, 3 kills are already there from their particular perspective. But right now, if we talk about Jose, well, he's empty-handed. But right now, they are figuring out. Look at that, how beautifully they just baited. And eventually, the performance is looking very, very sharp. The kind of, let's say, gun game coming from the corner is very, very amazing. Moving up ahead with this kind of performance, Surprise manages to get 2 amazing frags, but on the other corner, if we talk about Jose, well, he's empty-handed still at the moment. Let's see how much more point can he actually claim for the team. RTR on the other corner with 5 amazing kills, still surviving, still looking up to the next squad. Just put them down to the dust.
The team RTR at the moment is looking very confident, and they're having a good spot. But if at the same time, if we look at the number of teams that are still surviving, 10 teams, this means barely 2 teams have gotten out of the lobby. Look at the size of the circle and look at the circles cluster that is being created. Northern belt and the southern belt as well. Both the belts have got so many teams, and we can see couple of teams at the peak area, and actually the peak area. Yeah, he's the only lone survivor, and he's on top of a team. He's sitting, laying down on top of a house under which there already is a team. And if you look at the dilemma, he cannot move, he cannot go anywhere from there. He can only wait until he gets taken down, because from that particular point, and considering the gun he has, I highly doubt that he'll be able to make any difference from that point or not.
Right. But again, if I talk about the teams, well, they are aggressive, no doubt on that. But still, look at the survival. 29 places surviving, 9 teams are surviving at this moment, and look at the zone. Again, out of the 7 zones, this is the 4th one, and it is about to think very, very soon. But new team leaders are coming up, new shots have been appointed, but look at that, how beautifully YK in this small house are just waiting and waiting for the enemies to come to them and eventually take them apart.
Alright, GE. 4 frag, but there you go. Hamza and Rabi gets the knock. Wanted, and Afan wanted. Wants to secure and save his teammate, but little did he know Afan is going to be the 3rd one to take the knock. Wanted still wants to fight. Wanted still wants to take down the player, but unfortunately they get suppressed, dominated by the team YK. Haziz with 8 frags. This team is looking very confident because, see, Raider, as I've already and always I keep on mentioning this particular fact, that if the team has the man number, it already is in a plus spot. You already get an advantage over all the other teams. Right now, no chance, did not have any chance. There was one final guy who was trying to make a move inside the circle, but unfortunately, he got taken down right at the moment.
Indeed, I guess the frags are coming up, no doubt on that. The triple kills are coming from Alex Maz's corner. That's interesting. But Resurrections, well, they are getting eliminated. And the other corner, if we talk about Team RTR, they're also trying to survive a bit more. 5 teams are surviving, 16 players are surviving at this moment, and the 5th zone is about to compromise very, very soon. Just a few seconds to go, I guess 20 to 30 seconds are remaining at this moment. But then, if we talk about PK, the shots are actually getting connected with Team number 9. TG's players are actually getting connected. Well, they are actually trying to retaliate as well. But then again, if we talk about PK, they have to be in the zone, and they are on the edge of the zone, and they are pretty much far away from the zone, and that can be very critical because TG can easily pick them apart.
Alright, it is no longer that 50-50 scenario that we generally see at other stages. It kind of seems like at least 70-20, because you have so much to lose than to win. Every single team is putting in their efforts. We still have 5 teams. We still have 16 players, and towards the team TG, there are a couple of players coming from the top. Team number 6 for Revers gets the domination and gets eliminated at the 5th spot. But still, we have 4 teams surviving, 4 teams pushing. Team TG is being suppressed. One guy, Sunny, gets the knock and he gets dusted right off the bat. But there we go, TG team as well. Zed, another guy who gets the nail on the coffin. he's also down. I highly doubt he'll be able to get revived. And there you go. Shaki and Roman are still alive and fighting. PK Battalion gets the knock, gets eliminated at the fourth spot. There you go. We are down to 2 teams, down to 5. There was the final elimination. Ready to rush was clearly not so ready to take on the rush. And there you go. Team YK gets the booyah in the very first match. Yoto Killers have actually proven themselves to be, I would say, YOLO killers, if I'm not wrong.
Indeed. What a performance coming from these guys, Connor. And the MVP, surprise, no doubt in that. I'm actually not surprised to see that he's the MVP because the way he was performing was absolutely amazing. That beautiful booyah coming from the team's corner was absolutely amazing because they had the manpower at the last.
Yes.
And they had the kind of, let's say, consistency in terms of their holding and the places that they were holding. They were actually cutting short quite a few rotations. They were not cutting the rotations which were very, very close to them, but they were as well cutting the rotations which were coming, let's say, from the edges of the zone. They were just trying to figure out that what would be the future eventually. If you try to just delegate the teams which are in front of you, there are going to be the teams which are going to come from the back end and be the teams in front of you. So I guess that is something they have actually worked on quite beautifully, and Yoto Killers were able to manipulate it, were able to, let's say, just get that fight into the particular perspective, to be precise. And eventually, a lot of ruckus was there, but finally, a booyah coming from Yoto's corner was absolutely amazing.
Yes, actually, a number of variables in every single game. Yoto Killers, yes, the way you narrated their own strategy, that was great. Because I'm really hoping that all the viewers that are watching, they'll be able to connect to whatever we are saying. They'll be able to connect to the strategy in your words. Because Yoto Killers, see, there's always a decision making that is required by the IGL to be made on time. You don't generally get a lot of time. You cannot simply stand back, lay down and simply hold, because that sort of a strategy doesn't always work. And considering the way these teams have played as compared to the teams, as compared to the gameplay that was portrayed by the Indian lobby, by the Indian region, this particular lobby, this particular entire gameplay that we witnessed in the very first game was entirely different, I would say. There we could see a little bit of passiveness. Yes, the equal amount of respect was given to the stage, equal amount of respect was being given to the glory that Asia Cup follows. But then again, here every single team wanted to get some frags. Yes, there were a couple of teams with a little bit of passiveness that was being put on the table, but all the other teams, the rest of the teams, they were full on aggressive, charged up. They wanted to secure as many frags as they can. We could see so many teams that were from the very start, from the very scratch, they went into the game, they went with the very first bat, they went with the kills, and they secured good number of kills. Unfortunately, every single team won't be able to make it to the booyah. This is simply the meta of the game. This is not simply how the game works. Only one team is going to be the winner. Yoto Killers was luckily the one in the first game. We are expecting similar sort of a combat, similar sort of rumble in the rest of the games. Let's see whether Yoto Killers is going to repeat their booyah, or there's going to be some other name. And look at those beautiful cinematic shots by our production team. Great. Clearly, number 2 match has actually begun. The map of Purgatory, the land of 3 islands, has actually begun. All eyes on the defending champs, Yoto Killer, Hazi, JD Boxer, Surprise, and Itachi Uchiha.
That's a crazy tone. But right now, if we talk about the fights, in this one, it is actually going to be quite chaotic because you can see that the teams are actually jumping here and there. They're just getting scattered quite a bit. But then again, we have quite a few drop clashes. For example, we have RTR coming up in a drop clash. Along with that, whoever is actually going to be there in the drop clash, and eventually there can be some good blowing apart of that particular fight. But if we talk about areas like, let's say, Golf Course, it is actually going to be quite empty. Alex Osama is way too close. He has become the bush, but then again, it's not going to cut the part because I believe the players are just trying to chase him. And look at those shots coming up. Just like that, a beautiful knockout comes in. Osama was able to deliver beautiful knockout. But is it going to be enough for him to just put him down? Oh, let's see.
All right. That was quite obvious. Osama, that was quite ironic that Osama got delivered a good knock. Anyways, Zebi, Maz, and Goku. Let's see whether Goku is gonna turn Super Saiyan mode, Super Saiyan God mode or not, because it is really needed at the moment. Goku really has to get to his Super Saiyan mode so that his team gets benefited. But look at the situation. Look at the defending champion, the situation they are in right now. One man is down. JD Boxer as well gets the knock. Hazi and Surprise. Actually, it's not wrong to say that Surprise has been given an actual surprise in the second game.
Indeed, the games are not getting that surprising, but then again, the clashes are actually coming up as a surprise because the teams should have actually went out for the, let's say, lesser aggressive type of approach so that they can actually survive a bit more, and which was not there in the previous matches. But let's see what happens eventually. If we talk about Agent, he's still looking strong. He's still trying to figure out, and there is a team in front of them. There can be a clash-like situation. Well, look at that. The needs are coming up. Obviously, the flashes are also coming up. Let's see how the fights are actually going to get delivered. If I talk about Snake Eye, maintaining the flank-like position, but then again, I believe a knockout comes in. Oh, one good member has already been finished off. Agent is already knocked out. That's sad. Watch Snake Eye and Black Fox are going to be the only two giants which are going to stay the beast. Let's see, is it going to be possible? I doubt it at this moment, but then again, if I talk about Snake Eye, he's back in the game, I believe, with that health boosting type of scenario. Right now, let's see what happens. Blue walls were appointed. A beautiful knockout would have been delivered, but finally, that guy still gets shaded.
And the entire team gets eliminated. All Stars. The Fallen Stars, I should say. Because all Stars have fallen at least in this particular game. The very first team who gets eliminated from the lobby. And if only we still had Snake Eye in the game, I would have said that it is about time Snake Eye should either turn into a tiger and fight, or he should turn into a hyena to fall back. Because he should be making decision quickly. And Yoto killers, okay. This is another shocker for us. Snake Eyes, the team gets eliminated at the very first spot, 11th place, and then the defending champions, Yoto killers from the last game, the winners from the last game, gets eliminated at the 10th spot. This is quite a shocker. Team RTR, Amar, Red Bull, and Virus. 3 guys surviving. Leader has been dead already. The team, the men, the guys are waiting to take down forever. And then they'll fall back in order to get their leader back in the game. But right now, Team Forever, Jack, this guy has spotted the guy. This guy, actually, every single guy in the lobby, every single guy in the Team Forever, they know that there is a guy, and look at what he's doing. Virus is simply playing with these guys, but unfortunately, not every time, my friend. Not every time. A couple of times, yes, you can try and have a good time against your teammate. That's okay, but not every time. Every time you show them their head, you are giving them an opportunity to take you down. And a couple of times, yes, they might miss, but not every time.
Precisely. Eventually, the 3 or 4 members of Team Forever were already pinpointing him, and that is why he was taken down quite swiftly. He was able to actually land some good shots on the enemy, but then again, Virus was the solo man survival. He had only one gun, he had only 2 eyes, he had only one set of vision to purposefully take down the guy who was in front of him. But from the back end, a sniper shot came in, and just like that, he was taken down. Beautiful enough, but right now, if I talk about Osama, well, he is actually using the vending machine to get some good utilities and get some good candies at this moment. On the other corner, if I talk about Zebe, well, he's also looking comfortable. Nobody is actually near this team, so I believe this team is actually going to be pretty much confident for the moment, and PK will be able to perform as far as the fight is concerned. We have Gentle, we have Madara, we have got ESP, and on the other corner, we also have got Umar07. Let's see how their performance is actually going to get delivered. This team is a little bit dormant for the moment, but this is just the first play zone, and we all know as far as the play zone is concerned, as the safe zone will move in, as the proximity of between the teams are going to increase, I believe the fights are for sure going to be quite vital.
So far, what I can totally see and notice and observe is that the entire Pakistani region is obsessed with Naruto universe. I can see, I could spot Madara Uchiha, I could spot Itachi, I could spot Sasuke, but no Naruto. This is quite a surprise for me because they are all fans of the Uchiha clan, but I could not find Naruto. I did see Goku as well. I think it's a good thing. All the main guys, all the main characters from the anime world are in the lobby right now. There are fans. It's a very beautiful sight to watch. But right now, Team TE. Also, Raider, there's one thing I would like to see that you must have already analyzed, that the last game there was all aggressiveness. At least, if not all, then 80% of the
Yeah.
game was all aggressive. But right now, I would still say there's barely 30 to 40% of aggression left. This game, the teams are playing a little bit of game. Most of the teams are playing the game passively, and I think last game was a hit and trial for the teams. This
Yeah,
time,
exactly.
they want to come up with. They are playing the game strategically, which may benefit some teams, and at the same time, this particular strategic move may get the teams eliminated, because clearly what we can see is that the last game winner Yoto Killers got eliminated right off the bat at the 10th position. So clearly that particular strategy did not work out for the team Yoto Killers.
I mean, see, this is not one of those classic maps. This is not one of those matches where you are here to enjoy. This is one of those matches where the destiny can be written, the history can be made. So definitely, these teams actually tried their level best to attain some good points. In the first one, Yoto Killers were there just to get that booyah into their perspective. But eventually, after that, if I talk about the second, third matches and the upcoming matches which are going to be there in the upcoming stages, these teams have to go with the strategy. If you are actually playing blindly, going aggressive, just like as you used to do on your live streams and on the classic matches as well, I guess the things are actually going to be very difficult because the other teams are just hunting you down. They're just trying to wait and trying to actually decipher for the right candidate. If we talk about this guy, look at that. Virus trying his levels to survive. But then again, is it going to be a possibility? I really doubt it because his position has not been revealed. He was for the spot, but will he be able to knock him out? No, that's not actually going. That is not actually going to be an easy task for him. And just like that, the guy was taken down. Now he's getting banned.
That's a friendly banter. And it is never going to be easy. It is never going to be easy. But right now, what's even harder is the survival for the team RTR. Only two men surviving. The circle is getting smaller and smaller by the time. And we are still only down to 19. 31 guys still surviving. I think there's a long way to go. The battle is not even half done.
Yeah.
And from this point onwards, it is only going to get tougher. Team NC with 0 frags. I want to see how many frags. Which team is currently the top fragger in this particular game? RCX with 4 frags, 0 frags from the team PK. So many teams clearly. TE as well. They're down to 2 men, Wanted and Hamza. Last game they were playing aggressively. They managed to get their way up to the 4th spot. But this time they're trying hard to survive. So this one thing I can conclude from this particular point, that I think they should go for a little bit of aggression. Then there goes at the 9th spot. There's one more team gets eliminated. We're down to 8 teams, 29 guys still surviving, and there still are a couple of opportunities for the teams that are broken right now to get their team back, get their men back, and get their team alive and kicking.
Oh, indeed. They have to actually come back with the kind of roster that they want to actually play with. For the moment, if we talk about Team 4DR, Jose, Sasuke, Apex, and Anthony are there right now. They are actually attaining 6 amazing kills into their perspective. But right now, the second zone is about to get compromised very soon. Well, of course, this team is actually in the play zone, so they don't have to actually be worried about that kind of scenario. But Forever Hawk on the other corner manages to put one down, and I believe he was able to finish him off as well. And that's Team RTR, which is going to get punished on the other corner. Forever has to be in the zone. Is it going to be a possibility for them? Yes, of course, they've got the right kind of vehicle. But then again, being in the zone is not going to be an easy task because quite a few teams might be gatekeeping them.
Oh yes. See, gatekeeping is all part of the strategy. It's all part and parcel of the game. Team RTR is down to one last man, Red Bull. Let's see how far along this guy can go, whether he can fly, whether he's got the wings or not. But right now, Team NC sitting on tight. Shira, Ironside, Simba, and Wiz. 4 guys. And there you go. One more anime guy, Wiz, from the Dragon Ball Z universe. Clearly, what I can see is that all the players, every single team has got one anime weeb, one anime fan who is obsessed with the anime, which is a good thing. So here comes my question. Here comes one more question from my side to you, Raider. Do you like animes? If yes, which anime do you like?
See, unfortunately, I have not seen any kind of anime. Yes, I've seen some seasons of Fairy Tail. I don't know if you know about that particular series and or not. But then again, that's all I've actually watched. In the past, when I was, let's say, little, in let's say my age was around 12 to 16 years old. I was watching Dragon Ball Z a little bit here and there, but then again, anime is something which I've not actually tasted quite a bit.
All right, all right. I think you should learn something, a bit of things from the guys from Pakistan, because these guys
Okay.
are full of anime fans, anime watchers, and I would like to know whether our viewers that are watching the match, whether they are anime fans or not. But at the same time, we cannot disregard the match entirely, because the match is the real deal right now. PK Madara gets the knock, and I think sick whether he'll be able to get his knock, okay, he has finally connected, the connection has been given, he has got the connection, but the conversion is gonna be a doubtful one.
Indeed. Let's see, will they be able to convert those frags, those knocked out into the finishes or not? That is going to be another call out. Forever's Atif YK was actually taken down. That's beautiful. If we talk about Team Forever, they have actually got 5 amazing kills into their perspective, and Atik, which was not having any kind of finishes into their perspective, is out of equation. Ready to rush on the other corner is already out of equation. That means Team RTR is at a loss on the other corner. If we talk about okay, but just chilling it out. It's just trying their level best to get the chills out in the play zone right now. Third zone is about to run out, and eventually, if we talk about Team Forever as well, they are also getting surprised quite a bit by the particular blue zone. But let's see, is it going to be definitely easy for teams like Team NC to just survive or not? Because Shira is out of equation. The other remaining guys are constantly trying their level best to put some shots on the enemy, which are trying to rotate, which are trying to get that closeness to the Booyah. But is it going to be an easy task? Not at all, because Ironside on the other corner is trying to create a flank. And if we talk about other teams like, let's say, LX, they're also having some kind of upper ridges, and they are definitely able to land some good shots.
It's never going to be easy. It's never easy. It's always going to be a critical one. You cannot survive and become the #1 get the booyah by being a pacifist. You have to get into a fight regardless of what your situation is. Even if you are one single guy, even if you are a pack of wolves, you've got to get into the fight. Team TG with 4 frags, Roman, Sharky, Zed and Sunny. 4 guys, they have a comfortable edge, but I think they should be moving inside the circle right now. They've still got a couple of minutes before the circle closes in. Not minutes, but yes, 30-40 seconds. But right now, what they actually have is the opportunity to secure a few more frags for the team. They did manage to secure a couple more. No. They could not. I think they should have gone for the frag. They should have secured these frags, because not every time you get such an opportunity. That was a great opportunity for this particular team from here on. I'm not really sure this team is. Nobody's sure whether they'll be able to get to the booyah or not. But what they should right now be doing is to get as many frags as they can, because booyah until the very end, you can never be sure about the booyah. Regardless,
Yeah.
even if you've got the 4-man doing the job, booyah is never a confirmation.
Yeah, indeed, but you can try as well. You can try your level best to attain some good frags, as we were talking about. Kills are something which is easily going to boost your kind of position in terms of the leaderboard as well. But at this moment, if we talk about PK Umar, well, he's just going here and there, just trying to learn about the rotations coming from the enemy's corner. If we talk about NC Simba, look at the kind of placement he's actually holding in this whole scenario. He's actually not in the zone. That is actually going to be quite chaotic, because yes, of course, he has done quite a few parkour to just be in that particular perspective. But right now, Simba 100 has to be into this particular safe zone so that he can survive a bit more. Again, DP on the other corner is out of the equation. Let's see if this solo guy can actually create the kind of damage or not. Triple kill is here from Team Forever's corner.
All right. Team NC, Shira has come back in the lobby, but in the meantime, Ironside is the one who is down. He is out of the equation. But this particular team,
What is that?
I don't know what's going on right now, but there are a couple of guys on top of them as well. The entire fight is happening outside the circle. This is quite a surprise for us. This is quite a new thing to see. Quite a great thing to witness. And look at the cluster that is being made in the southern side. But there you go. 1 grenade, 2 guys gets down. PK Umar wants to confirm their frag. And yes, they have. PK Battalion in the meantime gets eliminated in Simba. Last man standing. And jump shot, but he did not deliver it greatly, but he will regardless get the frag. We're all down to 2 teams. It's a situation. Forever gets the knock, gets eliminated in the second spot, and the booyah of the second match of the map purgatory goes to the team TG.
GG.
That was a great boy. GG, indeed, indeed.
Indeed, a very beautiful game coming from TG's corner. I believe their consistency was absolutely amazing. Team Forever was also way too amazing, and they were actually way close to getting that booyah. But eventually, I guess at the last, when they wanted to be in the play zone, when they wanted to be in the safe zone, a lot of teams had their kind of perspective, had their kind of, let's say, observation. Yet, yes, in that compound, we have a team. We have to eliminate that perspective so
Yes.
that we can actually be the one who is going to get that booyah. And that's what happened. Team Forever jumped in. They were getting bombarded from various surrounding regions, and eventually, a lot of shots were there for Team Forever. And eventually, they were unable to touch the ground as well. Before that, their players were getting knocked out, and that was very amazing. Finally, TG with a beautiful booyah is again back in the Sunshine region. I would like to see that how this whole situation will be going to go on. And eventually, we're not that aware with the Pakistani teams, but I believe the competition level between these guys are absolutely amazing.
Also, you have to add up one particular statement to that. These teams are indeed going to give a good competition to all the other teams, even though we are yet to see what's happening in the Indonesian corner, what's happening in the Bangladesh and Sri
Right.
Lanka's corner. But still, I have high hopes from the Pakistani region. Also, talking about the match, there was one particular compound, the last and final compound. I think the reason why so many teams were going towards that particular compound, reason number one, there was one team that was
Mhm.
holding the compound confidently, and that was the compound that was closest to the circle. It was closest to the edge of the circle. The other teams, they did not directly want to, they did not directly go into the circle because it was quite an open circle. There was only one last circle, and there was only one closest compound which was already occupied. So if only the teams tried to go inside the circle, they would get the knock from that compound. So every single team went for the compound, went for the frags that were sitting in the compound. Some teams got benefited, some teams got terminated and eliminated. Towards the end, Team TG got their second booyah, I mean, first booyah of the second game. And about time that we start up with our map of Kalahari, the map
Hmm.
of luck, where the magic happens. Yes, that is
After
the map,
two,
Kalahari.
yeah, indeed. After two good matches, I believe Kalahari is going to be one of those maps where we are going to witness the table turner. We are going to witness some kind of teams giving up some amazing skills coming from the corner, and you can already see the cinematics coming from this red desert map. But right now, we are going to be more than focused on the plain path, and there we go. The plain path is starting from the northern region, ending towards the areas of the suburb. But then again, where the teams are going to drop is going to be very amazing to watch out. As you all can see, Team RL is already jumping on the northeastern corner, northwestern corner to be precise. But then again, with that, Team TE is also jumping in the same vicinity. So there is actually going to be a drop clash, and the Booyah fights are already starting very soon. We are going to witness the teams which are going to get the domination into their favor. But then again, is it going to be one of those matches as compared to the first one, where we saw a lot of chaos, where we saw a lot of backlash in the first few circles, or is it going to be a safer one as compared to the second one?
So right now, PK, they've got their very first frag, and I think that's the opening frag. That's the very first frag in the lobby. New kill leader PK battalions. Yes, first frag, and Gentle gets the knock gently. T Rabi did not
Right.
miss the shot. See, this is their expertise. This clearly shows their skill set. When the very moment they get the bare minimum pixel on the other player, they take the shot, they don't miss the shot, and they get the frag. Unfortunately, this time Rabi could not get the frag confirmed, but he will be able to make it. But right now, I think they should rather think about surviving from this sort of a situation, because they are down to two men, only one frag in the pocket, and Rabi gets the knock as well. Wanted should go out and survive. Otherwise, the team will be the very first one to get eliminated.
And that is something you don't want to actually go with. But right now, at this moment, 1 minute and 20 seconds or more to go for the first play zone to start shrinking. At this moment, if I talk about Gentle, he's empty-handed, but Madara was able to attain two amazing tags into his perspective. Two amazing kills are already there. On the other corner, quite a few teams are actually coming up a little bit close, and there could be a kind of backlash that we are going to witness very soon. On the other corner, Wanted from Team T is also getting shown. 11 teams and 38 players are surviving. I don't know which was the first team who got eliminated, but then again, a lot of backlash was there. And at this moment, if we talk about Team Forever, definitely last one was not that amazing. They were able to survive, but then again, going for the Booyah was something where they actually choked on. Can this match be the one where they're going to be there with the Booyah at the last final circle? Let's see what happens eventually. And the kill leader is going to be Gone OP.
All right. Team ES forever Jack. Four guys, and they're currently chilling at the command post area. Command post area is a good spot generally. There are a couple of spots where the end circles go. One of it is command post, the other one is refinery. If you get comfortable hold of the area that is refinery, you get a good spot at the circle. Most of the time the circle are on it, and you easily cross, I think, 4 circles at least. After that, it's all your luck whether the gods of Free Fire Max want to benefit, want to give you an advantage spot or not. It all depends on that. But as of now, we can see Team NC, Shira, Ironside, Simba, and Wiz, all the guys running around the area of the maze. No other team, no other player. They are sitting comfortably, moving around, and you have to be moving. You should keep on moving. Otherwise, the dynamic situation, the dynamic range of this particular game will automatically get you in the harm's way.
Indeed, the blue zone is going to catch up to you. You have to use, then the grapples are going to be taking a vital role on you, and eventually you have to actually consider the utilities that you're actually having. The right kind of frags, the right kind of, let's say, medics should be there, the booster should be there, so that then eventually, even if the play zone is actually punishing you, you are still surviving. Nuclear key leader is going to be PK's battalion. I want to see that how they are going to perform, but eventually, if we talk about Goku coming up way too close to the another team, that is Team of 11. Let's see, is it going to be a fight? Yoto Killers are in front of him, and we all know how they performed in the first one. Yoto Killer got that booyah, but right now, look at that. Goku once again gets punished. He's out of the equation now. The teammates have to just raise him up. And if we talk about YK, Aziz is actually going to be the guy with one beautiful elimination into his particular perspective. That's interesting to watch on. But right now, we have to see what will happen next. Is it going to be Team LA to just push forward, or is it going to be Team Yoto Killers trying to push forward onto that particular perspective? We'll be seeing very soon.
Yes, and if you look at the points table right now, Team TG sitting on top with 46 points. Kill points 26. It's a good number. It's indeed a good number, and clearly TG is one single team that is playing aggressively. That is what we can conclude from the points table that we are witnessing right now. 26 frag. There's only one team that has crossed the 20 kill mark. Otherwise, all the other teams, number 2 we have a Forever with the 13 frags, and a big difference between number 1 and number 2, and so on. So TG is already up with a good buffer. Let's see how far along they can build this buffer, how far along they can go. But there you go, that was a good knock. The team did not want to miss it and did not indeed miss it. But right now the momentum has shifted. Zebi is the last man standing. He is going to revive Mars, and there you go. 2 guys have come. Mars already low on HP. I'm really not sure whether he will be able to survive, and there you go. But oh my god, that was a good shot. That was indeed a good shot. Team Resurrection has got eliminated, but that was a beautiful shot, Raider.
See, believe it or not, I believe the guy from Team Yoto Killers corner was way too low on his HP, but he was able to axe him out just like that. Was absolutely amazing to watch out the way the performance is actually coming up. But right now, we have to consider that the whole team of Team LX is out of equation, and that's a sad side to watch. On the other corner, if we talk about Team AS, let's see how they're going to perform, because for the moment, Snake Eye is the only guy with those sneaky eyes and with those ninja-like gameplay, with one amazing elimination into his perspective. 1 kill is already there from his corner, but right now, if we talk about Team PK, they are also not that gentle, to be precise, because 5 amazing kills from their corner has already been shown. If we talk about DE, Wanted with 2 amazing blows is already surviving, and Nafan on the other corner is getting blows from the play zone as well. So of course, being in the zone is going to be something which is going to be the main goal for the team as well. On the other corner, TG, they are looking sharp. They're still maintaining the consistency, and I believe if they are actually going to clutch the third match as well, I guess that can easily buff their position a lot in terms of leaderboard.
Yes, TG, they are clearly building good number of points in the leaderboard, and the ladder is too high. We still have 3 more games to go so far. Currently, I think TG is at a comfortable spot. Even after the second game, they managed to get a good buffer. I think they have managed to get to a spot where they have little bit of liberty, that even if they get eliminated in the early segment of the game, early quarters, which I don't think it is very hard for other teams to eliminate TG. They are at a comfortable spot. The way they've been playing, beautiful. That is absolute treat to watch. They are totally assessing every single situation, and then they are putting up a good fight. And especially the decision making, they always decide at the very moment, at the very second, whether they want to go for the fight or not, which I think as an IGL is always necessary. Decision making is the most critical part, is the most crucial part for an IGL to get the team to a spot where they are at an advantage.
Indeed, that is going to be the call out for these particular teams. Let's see how Snake Eye is actually going to get that ridge into his particular perspective, because he's actually standing a way too up, and this ridge can easily pan him break and give him a view at where the enemies are actually trying to rotate from. If we talk about his Black Fox, well, of course, shots are coming up from his own corner. Let's see how the shots are actually going to get connected. This is the second zone, and this zone is about to shrink in very rapidly, and the teams have to just approach to the particular safe areas and safe havens so that they can survive and build up a fight, build up a kind of defensive position, and then again go for the booyah. But look at the shots coming on Wanted's corner. He tried his level best to survive. Look at the HP he is actually holding, way too low, 36 HP. That's all he actually had. On the other corner, if we talk about TG Roman, well, again, they are rotating. They are trying to figure out that way the rotations will land them. And Sunny is also there with him. But right now, I guess the area that they are rotating from is easily going to give them a buffer.
All right, they are already getting a good buffer, but Team RTR, leader Amar, Red Bull Virus, only one frag, the other one as well. The very moment we got our eyes on the Team RTR, they got another frag. I think our production team, our observers should keep on switching on this particular team so that they get a couple more frags.
Right.
But Team NC, they're sitting at a comfortable spot in the area of Mammoth. But right now, the team that are around the corner, I really want to have an eye on the circle, where the circle is going, so that we'll be able to get a better understanding of the zone. But right now, looking at the team TG, they're playing passively. They've already made a good move in the last 2 games. This time, they already understand that this is going to be a game changer. If they lose, which is a 50-50 scenario, they'll lose all their points. So currently, I think they're moving towards the survival zone, and towards the end, the fights will come at the doorstep.
See, at this moment, just like we talk about on the leaderboard, on the, let's say, caster deck as well, that the pressure of being on top is actually on another level. You have to actually maintain your kind of consistency. You have to actually get close to 15 to 20 points in every single match so that you can be breathable in terms of your position in the leaderboard. But right now, if we talk about Team 4DR, Sasuke is there with 1 amazing elimination into his perspective. Apex is also there with 1 kills into the perspective. But on the other corner, well, the play zone is not looking that easy for them, because Refinery has been declined from the play zone, and the people have to be a little bit more to the open-ended areas. The ridges are, of course, going to be there. The dips are actually for sure going to be there. Few compounds are there here and there scattered. But then again, is it going to be enough? Not at all. NC Shira on the other corner tries to push us in. On beautiful knockout was delivered. I believe it is going to be more than enough to just put them down to sleep. Let's see. The shot is about to come. Is it going to tag him out or not?
Team NC, 3 frags. Shira, Ironside, Simba, Wiz. See, this is not a coincidence, Raider. Every time our observer goes to the Team NC, they get the knock. They get the frag. Team AS sitting comfortably at the tower. Snake Eye, Mr. AJ, they have spotted a couple of players. There's a team number 9 coming from the downside, and they're constantly taking shots at the team. But right now, if you talk about Team TG, Team TG has taken down Shira. Both the teams, good teams, I would say. But right now, PK is on another level right now. 5 frags in the pocket, and Madara gets the knock yet again. Let's see whether he'll be able to get revived. Will he survive or not? That's a good question. And the answer to this particular question we will get in some time.
Very soon we are going to get the answers. We are going to get the scenario where one of these amazing teams are going to get the booyah, but we have to wait. We have to be very patient, just like these teams. and we have to be very calculated about what are the things which are actually wanting at this moment. If we talk about Yoto Killer Surprise, well, once again, I believe he's about to become the MVP. Oh, I guess that's the caster curse. Just right now got knocked out. Let's see what happens eventually. Will they be a stand of white Yoto Killers where they're going to just close down the other team? Okay, DK Battalion is out of equation. That's a quadra kill coming from, if I'm not wrong, Hazi's corner. That's interesting. Now, Surprise is for sure going to be back in the scenario. Revivals are going to be there. They're going to patch themselves and finally make their way out to the play zone. But is it going to be easy? Because if I'm not wrong, we have one more team focusing onto them and trying to decline their, let's say, positioning into the play zone.
Yes, Team NC 3 frag. Let's see whether our blessings get the benefit of our blessings or not. We are down to 7 teams, 24 men. Painkillers gets eliminated. Team TG, they're sitting comfortably, and this team, they do not want to make a mistake, but unfortunately they are getting shots in them. Triple kill. Forever Hawk is on another level right now. He is on a roll. And if you look at the beautiful drone shot that is being provided to us by the production team, the teams are very split. Only 2 teams are in a close quarter, but both the teams do not want to fight. Both the teams want to play it safe. They want to get into an even, they want to get further into the circle, and then they will get into the fight, which cannot be avoided.
I mean, indeed, the players are actually trying to go for those long range shots as well. You can see that Zed was knocked out. Wow, that's beautiful. That amazing shot, he was taken down. But right now, we all know that the finish is not going to be a possible scenario because you don't want to just push forward and be very, very blinded about the sides that you are actually having quite a few teams in your hindsight as well. So obviously, survival is something which is actually going to be a key point for the team as well at this moment. Along with that, they are also trying their level best to maintain the pressure because getting that booyah is not going to be an easy task for any single team. And meanwhile, while you are aiming for the booyah, you have to also consider that these other remaining, should I say, 5 teams are actually going to be your biggest competition and biggest hurdle in getting that booyah. So definitely, they are trying their level best to attain those kind of positions into the perspective. If we talk about RTR, well, once again, they're coming a little bit close to the enemy, and I believe that is actually going to be quite good with them. Very soon, we can see that RTR might actually come up with the eliminations.
Raider, I think Team Forever is at a good spot.
Yeah.
They've got 5 frags. They've got 3 men standing. I want to see whether other teams have a better spot than this particular team, because right now Team RTR gets eliminated. 6 spot ready to rush. Clearly, they were not so ready, even though their name suggests that they were ready to rush. But the game clearly says otherwise. But right now, I can see, apart from the Team Forever, there is AS Snake Eye, Mr. AJ. This particular team is also sitting at a better spot, because the very best part about their spot is that it's a high ground. They have a better vision over the other teams, and from there, even if they do not get the booyah, they can still considerably get good number of frags from that point. But right now, there's another trouble. AS and Forever, both the teams are having equal spot. Agent is trying to make a move, but will he be taken down by the team? Team NC also surviving. It's a good spot, and it's a complicated circle now.
And look at the audacity that AS is actually holding up. They're way too open-ended and they're rotating with the motorcycles, and that can be very, very chaotic for them, because some good shots, some good sprays can easily land them down. Only the one if we talk about Team Forever, but finally they are trying to push forward. If we talk about Team Forever, look at that. Atif once again comes up with the shots, but he might actually go down really very soon, and there we go. Just like that, I believe the play zone was also trying to take a toll on him, and apart from that, a lot of shots were also coming up. Team Forever is definitely going to have a lot of ruckus, have a lot of difficulty to survive for the moment.
Team Forever, they've lost their man advantage. They're down to 1 last man. NC in the meantime, this time NC is also looking confident. I think Team Forever, they are at a bad spot right now because of me, because maybe I think Caster's Curse is actually very real. I believe in that, even though I don't want it to happen, but I tend to have a habit of supporting a couple of teams and then they die, which is very bad on my part, but it is what it is. I like to make my own predictions. I like to give my support, extend my support to a couple of teams. But right now, Team NC Sira, he has taken down Aegon OP. Jack is a little low on HP, coming on close. It's a 1v1 battle. Let's see Team Forever versus Team NC. Whether Jack will be able to make it with a shotgun. He wants to close in. He wants to take down. And oh my god, that's not a curse. Curse. Team Forever has actually won the battle. They were down to 2 men. Finally, Jack was still surviving Raider. What just happened? I cannot believe my eyes. Team Forever, absolute OP in the chat. The way this team played. I was thinking that this particular team has got hit by the Caster's Curse, the infamous Caster's Curse. But clearly, that was not the case. Team Forever was like, no, bro, we do not get hit by the Caster's Curse. Actually, we curse other teams and we bring the Booyah home. We snatch the Booyah away from all the other teams because clearly that's what Forever has done.
I mean, it's in the name. They are forever. They are going to survive forever. They are going to get some good booyahs and they're going to be in your minds forever. And that's what they did, both in the fans' minds and both in the enemy's mind. I believe they're just trying to create that kind of pressure onto the squads. They're just trying to create the, let's say, embarkment that yes, we are there in the lobby. Yes, we are here and we are going to provide you with the biggest and the baddest competition you are ever going to face.
Indeed.
But not in that, but we are actually going to witness that how TG as well performed in the leaderboard. Very soon, those are the things which are going to be very, very clear, and it is actually going to create a very lucid scenario where we will see that despite of getting the first, let's say, one single, if I'm not wrong, there is only one Boya coming from TG's corner and one coming from Forever's corner, and one more team actually got that Boya, if I'm not wrong. I'm unable to recall the name, but then again, I guess there is
Yoto
not
Killers.
Yoto Killers, yeah, the first one. How could I forget about that? I guess there are all of these teams which are actually getting some good booyahs, but then again, the reputation is not here right now. So I'm glad to see that kind of perspective. And new teams, or should I say the teams which are unable to get those booyahs into the perspective, are able to get some new booyahs and eventually showcase their kind of own strength. And the fans are not going all in vain. They're also getting some good close calls into their perspective. So obviously, a lot of things have to be learned from these teams. And on the other corner, I believe the other teams from the other regions have to actually watch out for them as well.
See, actually, Raider asked us as viewers, I think everybody wants to taste something new, taste something different. And as they say, variety is the spice of life. So we want various teams to get to the Booyah position. The battle should be tough. And it is indeed tough enough for us to enjoy, for the viewers to have a good fun, have a good entertainment at this later hour of the night. And I think it's clearly a treat to watch. Every single guy that is watching must be having a good time. And since we've got like so many guys watching, every guy is having a good time. We are having a good time. And I am expecting same sort of action in the second half of the day, because second half of the game, second half of the night, because first 3 matches have come to an end. It's about time we get started with the Bermuda, Purgatory, and Kalahari. The same sequence yet again. First 3 matches, 3 winners. The other 3 matches, will the Booyah get repeated or will be able to find some new names?
It's time to get serious at this moment. 3 matches have been passed. The first phase of this whole qualifier, Pakistani qualifier, has already been passed out. Right now, 3 more Booyahs are left. Let's see which team is going to get on that, and eventually, if we are going to see any kind of repetitions in terms of the Booyah teams, we will be seeing it very, very soon, because right now, Bermuda is about to come. One of those maps where you actually rise like a phoenix from the ashes. One of those amazing maps where you are able to contemplate and get some good zest about the particular fight. So, yes, of course, we are going to witness quite a bit of amazing things. And if you are actually on the English stream, if you want to actually enjoy this stream in another language, you can easily continue with the Hindi stream as well. But right now, let's again watch the cinematics coming from Bermuda. You can already see how beautiful this map is. You can already see how chaotic this map can actually be there. Right now, this is just the silence before the storm.
Actually, every single guy, every single team, the very first map that every single guy, when they come into the arena of Free Fire Max, they witness the map Bermuda. So I think the team, the players are pretty much, they are familiar with every single rock, every single cover that is in the lobby, that is in the map. Around the corner, they must have every single idea where they should go, where they want to go. So every team, regardless of the competition, they are always comfortable. See, competition is a one aspect, but the very prime aspect is whether you are comfortable with the environment or not. Competition is always going to be there. That is, I would say, that is going to be a constant. You cannot change it. that is going to be a permanent fact. But what
Hmm.
actually changes is your map of preference. When it comes to a competitive lobby, you cannot, you do not have a choice. First match, always Bermuda. Second match, always Purgatory. Third match, always Kalahari. Yes, there can be other possibilities as well that these maps can be shuffled,
Hmm.
but but towards the end, until the time Alpine gets introduced regularly on the competitive scenario, you cannot avoid. Alpine is definitely going to be a game changer because it is a new map for every single team.
Yeah,
But right
right.
now, Team TG, we were so busy in talking about the maps and talking about the environment, we almost forgot that the defending champion, the team that is sitting on top, is
Ooh.
now on its knees. Z has also been down. Sharky, Sunny, Z, three guys down. Roman last man surviving and running. Let's see how far along he can go from this situation.
I mean, reviving his teammates is definitely going to be a tough task for this particular guy. But if I talk about Surprise, once again, that guy is actually trying his level best to attain some good blows because Surprise never actually fails to surprise us. In every single match that he actually tries to play, he is actually able to get some good blows. If we talk about JD Boxer, let's see how he's actually going to perform. And on the other corner, if we talk about Ironside, he's just waiting very patiently, waiting for the right time period where he can hit the jackpot, where he can easily attain one or two beautiful knockouts and kills at this moment. One amazing kill is already there. Simba is at a loss, but then again, Ironside is empty handed. He is waiting still for the right time period. Isatachi on the other corner is having the upper ridge, but his position has been compromised, and that can be very critical for the team. Apart from them, we have quite a few teams coming up. Team Alex, we don't want to forget this particular team because Alex is one of those teams which have a severely punished Team TG for getting that booyah.
Yes, every single team eyeing at that booyah. And there's one thing that we can see is there was a buffer before the third match, but that buffer has been cut down to only 2 points. Number one, Team TG
Right.
with 53 points. Number two, we have Team Forever with 51 points. Barely 2 points. It's barely any difference. It is gonna get covered. If Forever plays well, it's gonna get covered in half of the match. Team TG not so good right now, in a not so good situation. The condition is very bad at the moment, but Roman
Hmm.
is still surviving. Until the time you do not lose, unless all your four guys are dead, unless all four of your guys get eliminated. So until the time you're, even if you're one single guy surviving, you are surviving as a team, and there still is a possibility and probability that your team can make a good comeback.
Indeed, coming back in the fight back and forth is actually going to be quite amazing to watch out for us as a viewer. And then again, if we talk about these teammates, yes, of course, they have to rise back in the game. Even though they are getting backlash, revival is something they are actually going to watch out for. And Simba is back in the game. I believe Ironside on the other corner gets connected with quite a few bullets. If we talk about this particular team, team number three, they are performing equally well. They are also trying to chase the blues. Shira on the other corner will be able to get tagged or not. That is actually something we all are waiting for. Shira on the other corner is trying to actually just decipher, trying to actually create that backlashing moment for team number 11 to be precise. Let's see how the shots are again connected. Shira with a beautiful jump shot was able to put one down, but finally Shira is at a loss. Right now, if I talk about Itachi, the main goal is actually going to get that revival done and dusted. And yes, of course, revival is done. Yoto Killers is back in the game. Two players of Yoto Killers to be precise is back in the game. Shira, will he be able to get finished, or is it going to be a backup like situation from Team NC? Is going to be another call out that we all want to see.
See, right now, yes, they've gone for the kill. They've gone for the kill. I was waiting for them to get their finish done because you cannot simply let the other guy
Hmm.
run out of blood and then die, because there still are a couple of chances. There still are opportunity for the other team push on you. They can take you down and then they can get their man back. So whenever you get the knock, you go and finish that knock right away, confirm your frag, and then move on. Right now, I think the only thing that should be followed is that get into the fight, take as many frags as you can, survive, repeat. This should be the goal. This should be the main motto of this particular game. But right now, Team TE with zero frag, they are surviving, they are alive and kicking. And the ironic part about this particular survival is that they are inside the blue zone. Despite being inside the blue zone, there's no other team that took the drop clash. Roman is in a bad shape right now. He can witness, he can totally see the other guys move towards the circle right in front of his eyes. But this guy cannot make a move at the moment. He should be looking out for tokens so that he can bring his teammates back in the game.
Definitely, it's going to be a tiring task. It's going to be a task with a huge responsibility to be precise. But then again, I believe he's more than capable. Aziz on the other corner is still trying to survive. 4 amazing kills from Team Qualifiers, but definitely 2 good members have been at a loss for that particular team. So yeah, they have to bounce back. They have to be back in the Sinsan region. But if we talk about Team Forever, one thing I'm actually pretty much getting as a gist of that Team Forever tries to be a little bit outside the zone. They try to actually play a little bit, let's say, safer for the first few particular zones, and then after that, when the fight comes in, they are able to contemplate and get some good blows. But Roman, well, he was actually going for the revival, but right now we all know revival is not going to be an easy task for that particular guy because he's solo man standing. Look at that, how far away he's from the free zone. I think revival right now can be definitely easy for him because the enemies, or should I say the competition, the guys who can easily eliminate him out a little bit outside the particular free zone, and they're just trying their level best to be in the zone right now. Meanwhile, if I talk about AS, Snake Eye is actually coming up with a fight, and as you all can see, he's getting punished quite severely.
Alright. Team AS agent was down, but he has been revived. He's all up, alive and kicking. But Snake Eye, he'll go for the knock, he'll go for the finish. One more frag in the pocket, one more kill, conversion convincingly, but the fight is not over. We are still almost 8 minutes into the game. I think we are halfway down into the game. From here on, the fight is going to be even tougher for every single guy, for every single team. Team RTR with 3 frag moving inside the circle. They are moving towards the plantation area. This is a good spot. They can hold on to this particular spot. But if we talk about Team NC, this team, they always go and target the highest spot. I think Team NC, Shira, this guy has just come inside and he has landed on top of this particular area, which is going to be a tricky one because from here on, he cannot go down without dying. He can try to take shots from this particular spot, but number one, he does not have healings. He does not have good gear to take the fight from that particular spot, so he has to come down, and the very moment he comes down, he'll get knocked down by fall.
Indeed, and that is actually going to be quite chaotic for the team. Moving upward, if we talk about Team Forever, they are empty-handed for the moment. I believe they are hunting for some good finishes at this moment. The fans have been summoned. The friendly banter can be actually there anytime soon, but at this moment, if we talk about Team Forever, they are more than focused on actually getting some good loots. But after getting those amazing loots, they definitely have to push forward. They definitely have to get some good finishes as well. Because if we talk about TG, well, they are one of those consistent team. Apart from getting finishes, they are actually attaining some good position points as well. But for the moment, if we talk about Ancestral, as we were talking about, he's way too high. He's way too up on the ladder. And if we talk about AS Black Box, rotating is actually going to be the only thing that they're actually more than focused on. Rotating and getting some good positions where they can actually create a defensive line. But right now, Black Box might be actually in a trouble.
Alex, Zebi, Maz, Osama, and Goku. It is quite a surprise for us that Osama has not secured a single frag so far, even though we already know that Osama is known for securing so many frags by one single blow. But PK, 4 frags, Gentle with 1, ESP, X, E6 ESP with 2 frags, Umar with the 2 more, 5 frags in the pocket, and the fight is still happening. Still, they've got a chance to build a couple more frags. Gentle in the meantime, but Umar gets the knock. Gentle is 1 HP. As quickly he has to heal, because if not, then the team is gonna get dusted. And there you go. Umar gets up. Gentle is the next one who is fighting. Low HP, he has to heal as soon as he can, but the fight is going to be a tough one. This is actually going to be a tough one. It's a 2v3 situation, and I'm not really sure whether he'll be able to come out from this situation comfortably, but they're still fighting. This clearly shows their mentality. This clearly shows that this team does not simply fall back. This team is a die-hard. This is a try-hard situation.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, what more is left to do at that moment? You have enemies, you have to fight with them. Otherwise, they're going to just lay you down. It is like basically a do or die type of situation coming from these teams. Madara and Exek is already out of equation. If we talk about Umar, he's definitely trying his level best. Gentle on the other corner is not being that much gentle. He's trying to just, let's say, bait it out and eventually get the clearer pixels, and he might be able to just put one or two down from the lobby. But right now, let's see how he's actually going to eliminate team known as Team AS. Right now, AS is actually getting predominated, and they are actually having a beautiful area. On the other corner, if we talk about teams like PK, they are definitely trying their level best to survive.
Team NC, Shira. See, this is what I told you. Shira is in a bad spot. Shira is in a huge dilemma, and actually, I think he is outside the circle. He has to be moving from, because from that particular spot he cannot enter the circle without dying. He cannot make a move towards the circle. Team TG in the meantime, they are alive and kicking, they are surviving. And this is quite a surprise that first two games they played progressively, and see, no chance. They did not have any chance from that particular spot. Shira shouldn't have landed on that particular compound, because from that dome he could not simply come inside the game without getting knocked, and since he already lost one last guy he had in the team, that was an end game for him. Team Forever alive, they are having two frags in the game and couple more, and a chance to bring more frag, but the competition has been eliminated. Team TG is dead in the 8th spot. We have 7 teams alive, 25 guys. Circle is started to make a move. Circle has started to do its damage, and that was a good grenade. That was indeed a great grenade. Amar, you beauty! What a beautiful grenade!
Well, he waited for the right time period, and eventually patience paid it off. Just like that, he was able to get that amazing kill into his perspective. Right now, the remaining guys, Black Fox beat Mr. AG or Agent 47, they are definitely trying their level best to be in the zone. But I believe RTI leader is actually going to deny the fact that they are in the zone, and he might be able to just push them out of the equation and eventually get some good blows. Okay, the nades getting cooked up. Well, the throw is actually there right now. Oh, damage is there for sure, but is it going to be enough to put him down? We'll be seeing it very soon, and definitely the knockout comes in on the other corner. The remaining guys have to actually put up some good spirits. Two good members from Team RTR have been already punished off, and now Amar is actually going to be the last one standing. Is it going to be a survival-like situation for him or not? Is going to be the bigger fallout. Mr. AJ versus Amar. What will happen? We'll be seeing it very, very soon. Amar definitely, with that beautiful need, was able to showcase that how brilliant he can actually perform. But right now, Amar is focusing more on getting that, let's say, teammate out of the equation. So yes, of course, the revival comes in. Amar and his teammate are back in the game, and I guess they might be now able to capitalize on the particular fights.
RTR, Amar, and there's one more guy. Team AS, one last guy standing. They've got good frags, but I'm not really sure that they can manage to go and advance from this sort of a situation. It's a 1v2 situation. One kill at a time is really needed. But Mr. AJ is still alive and fighting.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, he has taken down one player. Still low on HP. 1v1 situation, and I think all stars. Okay, he could not make it any further, but kudos to his efforts. Kudos, absolute beauty. This guy, he tried his level best. He knew his back is up against the wall. He was all up against the rope, yet he came back stronger. He tried fighting. Unfortunately, he got eliminated, but I would say that was great effort.
For sure, the first done by that particular guy known as AJ was absolutely amazing, but definitely it was a, like, let's say 1v2 type of fight, and a few shots were also there coming from the back end, so definitely he wasn't able to survive at that moment. But yeah, as you said, kudos to the effort. Definitely in the next upcoming matches, I guess he will be able to capitalize, and I believe the manpower that was there from Team RTR's corner was absolutely amazing, and Amar was able to actually get some good close calls into his perspective. For the moment, if we talk about Forever, after losing two good guys from the team, Forever's Hawk and Agent are more than dominant at this moment to get this match into their perspective. Definitely teams like, let's say, Team number 7 are not going to let it go that easily. Exec on the other corner is way too low on his HP. In terms of the morale, I guess his morale is actually going to get shattered quite a bit, because PK, the whole team is out of equation except Exec ESP at this moment. Will he be able to survive? That's the biggest question we want to get an answer for.
but I think we won't wait for so long for this question to get
Right.
answered, because it's barely a matter of few minutes, and I think few minutes is somewhat an overstatement, because in barely like 60 seconds, 60 to 120 seconds, we'll get the answer. We'll get our winners for the fourth game, that is Bermuda. Then we'll have two more games, Purgatory and Kalahari, and then we will bid our farewell to the teams and to the viewers that are watching. But right now, PK Battalions, and I think it's
Oh,
gonna be even lesser than 60 seconds. We're all down to two teams. It's a 3v4 situation. Afan back to back. He's popping up those blue walls, which are really needed at the moment. And sometimes later, I think about the reflexes. These guys have trained themselves so well that they automatically turn up their glue wall in the blink of a second.
yeah.
In the 10th frag of a second, they get their walls up.
But right now, the 3v4 fight has actually been turned to the 3v3 kind of scenario. And you can already see the shots are coming up quite rapidly. Glue walls are getting appointed. Some flashes are actually being thrown, but still, the connectivity is not getting quite that possible. ODR on the corner. Anthony is already knocked out. He's already getting punished quite a bit. And if we talk about the Team PE, Afan and the other guy has already been taken down. And with this, I believe we have got our Pura team. The fourth booyah from this Pakistani qualifiers is coming up into the hands of a beautiful team as Team 4DR. What an amazing performance coming from their corner. Booyah was able to it was an amazing player to be precise. Agon DP with an amazing performance was able to contemplate and get this one into their perspective. The way they performed was absolutely amazing. It was a 3v4 kind of scenario, and the other
Yes.
team, the opponent, was able to kind of, let's say, capitalize on them for a shorter period of time. But after that, Team T, be it Affan and the other guys, they were contemplated, they were compromised, they were taken down, and a beautiful booyah coming from this team. Agon DP was absolutely amazing. And still, once again, we can call out that we have fresh faces getting the booyahs.
Actually, the best part about this particular Booyah is that in every single game, in the past four games, every single game, we got to see a new team, which is the real deal, I think. And we were really expecting, we were really waiting for this thing to happen. We still have two more games to go, Purgatory and then Kalahari. And I'm again expecting two new names. Out of the 11 teams, I want two new games, two new teams to get the Booyah, because then the battle is going to be an even one. No
Indeed.
team is going to get the benefit. Yes, there is going to be a team that will be able to manage to stay on the top, but there won't be any buffer. So next days, coming days, will be very tough for every single team to play, because the competition is going to be a cutthroat one, and you've got to be the best in order to qualify for the event where the real deal, where the real competition starts. Even though the competition right now is also equally important, but still, these teams are quite comfortable among playing among each other. They know their strategy pretty well. They must have read in the local
For
tournaments,
sure.
in the local
Yeah.
benches. But every single team is waiting for the real deal, which is the place, the spot where all the other countries' best names come up, and then they battle it out.
Indeed, these legends are actually going to perform equally well. They are going to showcase the kind of strategies. The leaderboard is going to something which is going to be something which is going to decide that which are those top three teams which are going to get qualified for the next round. And then again, definitely being a champion is not going to be an easy task. And the prize pool of total, let's say, more than $6,000 is actually at stake, along with the bragging rights of winning this one and being the champions of Asia Cup, to be precise, presented by Lidoma India. Along with that, I guess the hopes of the fans are actually something these guys have to actually count for, because of course if they are watching this late, I guess it's already past 12. It is already becoming a good morning for us. So obviously guys, they are actually having some kind of faith in you guys, and I believe these teams are actually trying their level best to perform and get their fans the right to just call out for their beautiful teams.
Indeed, indeed. And we're waiting for all the teams to come up in this next game, because Purgatory is about to get started, the land of three islands. And whenever the map of Purgatory comes up, Raider, I would like to mention this particular desire of mine. I always want the final circle to be between the three islands, a little bit of a chunk of every single island. We have three islands. I want the final circle to be exactly in the middle, where the center of the circle is in the waters, and a little bit of chunk from every single island. That's where the real fight would happen. That's where the real test of skills, the real test of patience, and the practice, the skill set is going to be portrayed by every single team, because such a circle do not have so many covers. In such a circle, the players have to make the best of it with whatever they have at their disposal, and it really creates a huge competition environment for every single team, complicated stuff. And then the winner that comes up indeed gets to be the best one in the lobby.
I mean, you're just making it difficult for the team as well by just
Yes.
calling out the zones in that kind of, let's say, bridges area and stuff. Yes, of course, for us viewers, it is going to be quite an amazing one. But then again, if I talk about the teammates and the players and the IGLs, it is going to be a new kind of challenge for them to just overcome it and get that whenever get that booyah, to be precise, into their perspective. But definitely trying the level best and getting some good blows is going to be the only thing that these guys are actually trying to wait for. Right now, we are just waiting for the map to come in. We are just waiting for those beautiful cinematic shots and beautiful headshots coming up, blowing here and there. Some nades are going to be there, some glue walls are going to get appointed, some initial clashes are going to be there. And right now, as we were talking about it, it's day number 1, match number 5. The map of Purgatory is already on the scene, and you can already see how beautiful the blue areas, or should I say, the river bodies are looking up. But then again, for these players, I guess those are the things which are going to be quite menace.
Exactly. And see, all the teams are going towards their own preferred area. I can see two teams going towards the central area. It's 4DR, the last game winners, and there's one more team. Unfortunately, I could not. I'm unable to. AS. Okay, the other team is AS. Let's see. AS, Snake Eye, Mr. AJ. It's a good squad. It's a good squad. Comparatively, they've been playing pretty well. But right off the bat, the fight has begun. The battle has begun. Uzair gets the knock. The champions of the last game. Uzair gets the knock, and all the other three players are now running back for their life. They want to escape. They do not directly want to engage because they do not have the guns. Once they find the guns, I think they will fight back. But right now, they are at a not so great spot.
Indeed. Now, if they want to actually be that guy at that greater spot, they have to actually take that fight. Right now, as well, can see Snake Eye is also trying his level best to get some good blows, but he has actually appointed some blue walls. He's actually going to patch himself slowly but steadily, but the shots are coming up. The survival of Snake Eye is definitely going to be a challenge for this particular guy. The team is actually not looking that strong, because if we talk about AS, yes, of course, from their corner, they have actually attained 2 amazing kills. But right now, survival is also something they have to work out for. Nades are coming up. Look at those beautiful nades coming up from the corner. 2 amazing kills have already been delivered. Well, scratch that, 3 amazing kills have been delivered. Agent is not looking that sharp in terms of his own HP, but still they are surviving. Still they are getting that kind of close call into their perspective. Let's see what happens eventually.
Yes, actually, we will see. But Team AS, forever, they haven't been able to manage a single frag so far right now in the game. But Team Forever, they've been looking confident. I would like to have a look at the overall standing so far after the 4th game, because that's very crucial. And talk about the overall standings. We have Team Forever coming up at the first spot. Yes, they finally managed to get good number of frags. And the Team TG could not secure a good game in the past 2 games. Yet they are at the second spot. Team Forever with 64 points. Team TG with 56 points in the second spot. Then we have 4DR with 47 points. All thanks to the booyah that they secured in the last game. And let's see in this particular game which team gets their hands at the booyah, which team climbs up the ladder. There's one thing, Raider, that I would like to mention. After the second team, see, from the spot 4th to at least, I would say, 7th spot,
Yeah,
the difference is not so huge. Even though,
exactly.
yeah,
One good match and the difference can be calculated. defense can be overcome, and that is actually going to be quite critical. And eventually, if we talk about the team forever as well, which is at top at this moment, one good match for TG can easily bounce back. TG can easily bounce back at the first position. One good booyah, one good, let's say, consistent match into the perspective can easily bump their position quite a bit. So at this moment, I believe the tug of war is still coming up. The challenge, and let's say, pacing of those momentums are actually going to be there for sure. The teams are actually going to be in kind of a pressure. The teams which are at the top are actually having the pressure of remaining in top. The teams which are at the bottom are having the pressure at why are we at the bottom? Let's just rise a little bit. And if we talk about the teams at the mid, well, you already saw at how the point difference is actually way too close. One good match, 1 or 2 points can easily jump their positions quite severely.
Actually, all the teams that are at the bottom right now, they're trying to put in their efforts, but unfortunately, they're being shot down.
Yeah.
And the efforts are currently, I won't say that the efforts are in vain, but they are clearly not getting the best advantage, the best benefit from their efforts. So it is about time to change a little bit of their strategy, whether they directly want to engage or they want to entirely play it passive. If you've been playing passively so far, it is about time to spice things a little, to bring in the heat and get into the fight. If you've been playing aggressively so far in the past 4 games, I think it is about time to calm yourself a bit, cool yourself a bit, and analyze, assess, then fight.
Indeed, that analysis, that evolution in kind of let's say gameplay is actually going to be quite important, because if you are unable to evolve along the steps, if you are unable to let's say get the close calls and learn that how the enemy is performing, I believe it is actually going to be quite troublesome for them to survive. At this moment, if we talk about TG, they are still empty-handed with 0 kills into their perspective. But right now, this match is actually going to be quite crucial for this one and the another one, which is actually going to be there in the Kalahari region. So, of course, these 2 matches are actually going to be quite crucial for TG, so that they can actually climb back at his first position once again. And along with that climb, along with that jump to the first position, they have to actually focus on another thing that is actually going to be the consistency, or should I say the buffer that they have to actually maintain, so that they can easily say, or should I say play 1 or 2 matches where the performance might not be adequate, but still they will be on top.
Actually, every team wants to be on top, but right now, Team Forever, they are clearly sitting at a good spot. Number 2, we have Team TG, which can make a good comeback, even though they are at the second spot right now. But the difference is not so much. One good game, and you will retain. You will go back to your first spot. From there, the question arises whether you will be able to retain. See, Reader, going on to the top with a couple of matches is considerably not a tough situation. It's not a tough task. But the real deal is when you try and retain that situation, retain that spot, because that's where the competition, the actual issue, all the pushbacks come up. Because if you are sitting at the #1 position, the other teams, they won't show mercy on you. At the same time, they might come up with a little bit of target game. But right now, what we can see is 4DR is being pushed down, pushed back. Apex already, he has made his setup. I think he'll be able to bring the teammates back or not. And the circle is going to close in. But right now, I can see a little chunk of Marbleworks Island, and a major chunk of the circle is on the Brasilia Island. Let's see how far along the circle goes towards the end. I want half water, at least, if not the ideal circle that I thought of. But I would still want the game to be complicated enough for the teams to be battle tested, because eventually the next phase is going to be an even tougher one.
Oh, indeed. The next phase, the next rounds are actually going to be much more tougher, because we are going to get the cream of this particular lobby, and then eventually they are going to fight for the another glory, and the regions are actually going to take the tug of war. But look at those mollies and nades are coming up at this moment. If we talk about Roman, he's definitely trying his level best to attack on Team Yoto Careers member. But is it going to be a possibility where Yoto Careers, that beautiful member, is going to go down or not? Is going to be the call out coming up? Well, the nades have been thrown, but nobody gets connected with that nade. And if we talk about Shaki, trying to push forward, trying to actually create the flank for him. And meanwhile, if we talk about Team Yoto Killers, they are also trying their definite kind of positions so that they can eventually come back and get the blows. Afan on the other corner is also trying to figure out, look at those shots. They might be able to connect on him, but Yoto Killer, they are pretty much compounded, and that is the only worst part of this particular fight because Yoto Killer is compounded. They are out of the zone. They have been compounded in the out of zone type of scenario. So, of course, they have to be in the zone as well. So, I don't know how they will be able to contemplate and retaliate with this particular fight there, but they are definitely trying their level best to just slow down the push that is coming from this point.
AS with 6 frags comfortably, all the 4 guys alive and kicking, all the 4 guys are still surviving. Snake Eye with frags. And so far, what I can conclude is that Snake Eye actually holds a crucial position in the team, even though I do believe that every single guy in the lobby, every single player in the team holds 25% of the contribution, and every single guy is very important for the team. But right now, what we can clearly see is that Snake Eye and Black Fox, they are making the game in their favor. They are writing up their own scripts where these guys are the heroes, but we cannot disregard the fact that when it comes to the number of players and number of teams, we are not even halfway down.
Indeed, indeed. We still have 32 players and 10 teams surviving. We out of 12 teams, we have 10 teams surviving at this moment, and these 10 amazing teams are actually going to create a lot of ruckus. But still, we have a shot coming up. I believe that was a nade thrown by Roman's corner, and he was able to connect 1 or 2 members. That's interesting to watch out. But we have to also figure out that how TE is actually going to create that vital role in this particular fight because this is a 3-way battle. This is a triple threat kind of scenario. But Agon DP, the team which actually, if I'm not wrong, got the Booyah in the previous match, is out of the equation.
Oh yes, absolutely. The equation is going to be a tough one because there are variables, n number of variables, n number of situations, and Team TG is still trying to go comfortably in the spot because they are right now fighting for the first spot. They want to go back to the first spot, and then from there, the battle of retaining that particular spot will arise. But right now, they are popping up a couple of grenades, but unfortunately, the conversions are not getting connected. They are unable to get the required conversion. But I think Roman is gonna stick into a bad spot. Right now, they have they've made their move inside the zone. They have made their move inside the compound. There are a couple of guys trying to eye them from the nearby distance, and Zed gets taken down. He gets eliminated. No, right now Yoto Killers, the very first game this particular team secured the Booyah. That was a great open to the game. That was a great open to the Pakistan qualifiers. But clearly, after that game, they've constantly been underperforming.
Constantly is actually going to be an understatement for them at this point because they are unable to get those blows. I don't know what happened after the first one. The Booyahs are not coming, the finishes are not coming, the retaliations are not coming. But for the moment, if we talk about E. Hamza, well, again, he has been taken down. Roman on the other corner managed to go ahead and get that revival. We still have quite a few teams surviving, but then again, the teams which are unable to survive, I don't know what they're trying to do, but eventually in the upcoming days, they have to just learn from this particular stream, learn from that how their past experience went out, and learn that how their past mistakes are actually taking a toll on their position in the leaderboard. On the other corner, but about Shira, once again, this guy decides to go for the upper edges.
Yes, actually, every single guy in the lobby would want to go to the upper edge because from there you get a better spot at the team, at the opponents, you get a better view of the battleground, which gives you a good advantage. Meanwhile, Team AS, Black Fog gets down, Agent 47, last man standing. This team has been playing comfortably well, comparatively as compared to the other games that they've played. 9 frags in the pocket, only 2 guys surviving, while we have Team Forever. 100% of passiveness we can see so far. We are down to 17, we're down to 22 men. Team Forever has now a good option, good chance to secure and retain, keep on building on their #1 spot. But Team RTR Virus, this guy did not secure a single breakthrough so far. Yet surviving. I'm not really sure how far along from this kind of situation this guy can go.
And definitely, I guess some new evolutions are going to be there. Some new kind of strategies are going to be there from the corner. But if we talk about Team AS, Agent 47, the guy is actually feeling immense amount of pressure on his shoulders because he's the only guy, he's the only member of this particular team who can maintain the legacy of their survival. Is it going to be an easy task? Definitely a big no for that particular situation. And yes, of course, Agent still has to actually go into the zone. Brasilia is the area where the compounds are actually lurking and where the zone is a little bit favoring. Around the corner, if we talk about RL and Igba, look at those amazing shots coming up, but still few of the shots have been connected, but then again, definitely not enough to put him down, put the team down. But RL, well, now they are in the close proximity to Team TG's member. This is actually going to be quite chaotic. But TG, I believe, if they are able to be consistent in this one, I'm not talking about a Boya-like situation. If they are able to be consistent in terms of their finishes and in terms of their position points, I believe that is something which is going to easily bump them on the first position. And meanwhile, along with that, I guess the pressure on Team Forever is also going to just incline quite a bit. But we have to also focus on one more situation, that Forever still is surviving. And if they are surviving, I believe TG's competition is actually just getting doubled up.
Yes, indeed. But right now, TG is actually looking very confident. They've managed to secure 7 frags later in the game, because earlier when they started in this particular game, they were trying to play it passively. But yes, that one particular move, one particular fight that happened outside the circle when the blue zone was on, that particular fight, that gave them the confidence. They won the battle, and from there on, they have been they started to build their own legacy yet again. The very first touch, the touches of second and third games have given them a good advantage. They managed to get to that first spot, and now they are currently at the second spot. This is a tricky one because Team Forever is still surviving, but I think Team TG, they've managed to get a good number of points, and there's equal chance that they will surpass Team Forever. They may surpass Team Forever in this particular game.
Indeed, that could be the strategy, that could be the call out coming up. But if we talk about teams like, let's say, NC, they're unable to perform, they're unable to attain as many as frags that we are expected from. But no doubt, 8 kills are absolutely amazing. But right now, 6 teams and 19 players are surviving for the moment. So look at those pixels coming up. I believe very soon the shot is actually going to be there, delivered, and eventually a beautiful knockout could come in. But look how beautifully Agent is surviving. He's just literally trying to sneak up on the enemies. He is in the top 6, if I'm not wrong. Surviving up till the top 3 is actually going to be the goal for Agent, and along with that, if the chicken dinner comes in, well, that is actually just going to be a cherry on cake. But that cherry is actually going to be quite pricey because he is the solo man survival.
Yes, indeed. Team GG,
he
Roman,
got
Z,
eliminated, I
and
believe.
Sunny. Oh yes, okay. Team Forever got eliminated.
No,
Team
I'm
Forever.
talking about Agent. He was a low soulman survivor from All Stars, and I
Oh,
believe
yes.
Warsaw just right now got eliminated.
Oh yes.
That's sad, man.
Got eliminated. Yes, indeed, that is sad. But what's even sadder for the team TG is Team Forever is still surviving, and Team TG Z is down. Other players are taking shots at Team TG. Sunny is also down. I'm not really sure whether the entire team TG has got down. And there you go. I was talking about, we were talking about this particular thing, and they've got eliminated at the fifth spot. Yes, they did manage to get a good number of frags, but I think from this point of time, at this point of time, Team Forever has got a good advantage. They are at a comfortable spot with the number of players that are still alive. So even if they do not secure the Booyah, if they've already managed to come to top 4, from here on, it's all matter of number of points that they can secure from this particular point. Team RL with 2 frags, alive and kicking, trying to take shots at the other teams. But right now, the path is being blocked by one glue wall, which they have to break and get into the circle. But right now, Ring is also down. Team Forever, will they be able to make one more game? Osama, last man standing from the Team LX, almost dead and shut down. I'm not really sure which team is it, but I clearly think that this is no.
LX.
No. Okay, that is not Team Forever. This is the Team LX. But yes, Team Forever has done an exceptional job of retaining their title, of retaining their #1 position in the very first day. Initially, it was with TG, but then it got snatched away by Team Forever. But talking about the Team LA, Alex, a good game, and again, yet again, a new name.
A new and a pricey one, no doubt in that. Alex was
Yes.
able to. Alex, if I'm not wrong, that is Resurrection ES. If I'm not wrong, the full name of this particular team. Well, as per the name says, Resurrection ES. Resurrection is something that these teams are actually trying to go for. And Alex, with that beautiful performance, is absolutely resurrecting their kind of, let's say, leaderboard charming area. They are easily going to bump up their position, I believe. And apart from that, if I talk about Team Forever also, a significant amount of damage has been done and dusted from the corner, and with that, I believe once again they will be able to retain their hashtag one position in the leaderboard. Yes, of course, they were unable to get that booyah, but then again, the way they perform, the way they're capitalizing in the particular scenario is absolutely amazing. And I believe upcoming last match, the map of Kalahari is somehow once again going to be slightly in the favor of Team Forever, because if they are consistent in these 5 matches, I believe the last one is something they are actually going to put their 110%, so that they can sleep, let's say, sleep quite frequently, so
Yeah.
that they can eventually remember that yes, of course, we were able to perform. We had a kind of buffer in the leaderboard, and tomorrow's day is actually going to be equally well for us.
Yes, indeed, indeed. See, everybody knows that the competition is tough. So
Hmm.
try to get to the first spot from the day one. Try to build a good buffer from the day one. If you manage to do that, you would have a little bit of liberty of losing a couple of games, but you need to have a good buffer in order to have such a liberty, in order to be at such a spot. And also, since you mentioned already that at the first spot the teams have a different sort of a pressure, because number one, they want to qualify, number two, they are already sitting at the first spot, which is good, but at the same time it creates the pressure as well. With great powers comes great responsibility. With very first spot comes the target game as well, and it's all part of the game, it's all strategy. The other teams that are falling down in the ladder of points table, they might want to mix up things, they might want to go for the drop clashes against the team that are sitting on top, so that number one, they won't let the team that are on top build few more frags, build few more points in their name. And once the top tier teams gets eliminated, the bottom tier teams, they get an open hand at securing the frag, securing the number of points, so that the difference between top three to the bottom three gets cut down.
Indeed, it can be very snappy at this moment in the leaderboard. We'll be seeing it very, very soon. But before that, the Kalahari has been risen. You can already see the Red Desert is actually getting overfloated by these particular teams, and we are going to witness how these teams are actually going to get over to the Booyah. The first zone will get compromised in 55 seconds, but before that, as you all can see, the connections will be there very, very soon. The fights are actually going to be there. The clashes are coming up from Afan's corner. He's actually trying to survive quite a bit. But from Resurrection PS, Alex Usman, if I'm not wrong, was the one who actually got the first amazing blow in the leaderboard.
Yes, that was indeed an amazing blow, Team Alex. I think they've already built a good confidence, but talking about confidence, Mars
Wow.
gets the knock. RTR Virus, they are trying to secure one more frag for the team. Yes, they managed to get the two frags right off the bat. But on the other hand, if you look at the team RTR, I'm not really sure. Both the guys are trying to take the fight, but they should rather be falling back and going towards the vending machine, maybe collect some more
Hmm.
tokens, so that they bring in the teammates and they can come to a better spot. And there we go, Sinner. I think this is a very common meta, but the other team, they won't simply let Sinner go inside the circle, because if they do, it is indeed going to be a sin for them. Right now, Team Alex looking confident.
Oh, indeed, they are confident because the last one was absolutely in their hands. The Booyah was absolutely there in their hands. Right now, in this one also, as you can see, Usama was able to retaliate and get some good, two amazing kills into his perspective. But apart from that, the other guy, that is, if I'm not wrong, Forever's agent. Okay, I don't know. I guess the shifts are actually there, but Resurrections, one more member was able to get two more kills into his perspective, and altogether, team uh, Alex is actually having some amazing points. But right now, if I talk about the overall leaderboard, Forever is very close to getting that triple digit marker into the perspective. If this one is actually going to be there in hands, if this Boya is actually in the hands of Team Forever, it can be a scenario where Team Forever is actually going to touch the first century in terms of the leaderboard. EG on the other corner is still trying to maintain that kind of buffer, still trying to maintain that kind of chase between TG and Forever, because you can see that TG with 70 amazing points and a balance of 35-35 as well is looking sharp in the leaderboard, no doubt in that. See, qualifications is something which is going to be quite an important aspect, because even if you are at #1 at this moment, or the enemy is actually at #2 or #3, you are still going to get qualified. So of course, apart from getting qualified, you have to maintain your kind of consistency, and eventually the spirits of your teammates should be risen, that yes, of course, we are able and we are more than capable to turn down the tides and eventually be back in the leaderboard and get the champions title in our faces. But right now, 10 teams, 39 players are surviving, and we are already past 3.5 minutes, and still we are not looking at any more clashes. But what about that? The kill feed is still getting lit up.
Yes, indeed. The kill feed is being lit up by Rabi right now. He took down Madara with a shotgun, but Team PK Gentle and ESP2 guys are still surviving, trying to build on a couple more frags for them. But let's see, PK Gentle and SP2 guys with 2 frags inside the blue zone. This is going to be a tricky one for them. Let's see. The very first thing that they would want to do right now is to bring back their players, which is not going to be easy. Team number 8 and the other guy, Gentle, has finally got himself into the Lions Den. RL Enigma is down, and a couple more shots at the team. Enigma is up, but the Gentle is still fighting. It's a 1v4 situation. All the guys came together and bombarded the bullets, the Halo bullets, not so gently over the guy Gentle. And the last man surviving, he already made a move towards the circle, towards a safer spot where he can go and bring back his own teammates, because that is really needed right now. Team TG last game, that was a good performance. But what TG actually needs is a better performance.
Yeah.
They won't be able to cut out by just simply giving good performance. They need to have a better performance, the best 30 bomber game to get to the first spot yet again.
Indeed, get to the first spot, get to a safer haven where you can easily reside and eventually be, should I say, going easy on the standards that yes, of course, we can be back in the charming areas. We are actually having that kind of breathable space where 1 or 2 good matches, if they are not in our cover, then again, still we are able to just survive in the top 3. For the moment, if we talk about 4DR, Anthan is there with that pan in his hand. We have got Farazi in the scene. We have got, along with that, Apex in the scene is there. Sasuke is also there in the scene, but still they are a little bit outside the particular play zone. Of course, play zone is something they have to actually evolve their respects with. On the other corner, if we talk about Team Yoto Killers, after having the first one into their bag, this team is also not looking that strong. But still, I believe this team will be able to rise back and eventually get into good close very soon. Because if we talk about Haziz, well, look at that. 2 amazing kills is already there in his hand. If we talk about JD Boxer, he's empty-handed. Surprise is empty-handed. But Ace Itachi on the other corner is also empty-handed. But I believe in that these 3 members will be able to contemplate very soon. If we talk about Team Forever, well, the Giants are already here right now. The team which is at #1 with 1 Booyah and some other consistent performances coming up. Team Forever is looking sharp. But let's see what eventually happens if there will be a stand where Team Forever will be able to rise back once again with the 25-point bomber is going to be another huge question. 2 teams have been eliminated. TE along with 1 more team has been eliminated for the moment. But if we talk about Team AS, in the last one, you saw that how All-Star wanted to perform, All-Star wanted to survive a bit more, but eventually their survival was taken at a toll. If we talk about Team Yoto Killers right now, one beautiful knockout is coming up from the ends of Team A All-Stars. That's interesting. Oh, I believe Surprise is also getting surprised. That's interesting to watch out at this moment. Team Yoto Killers is getting quite a few backlash. Ace Itachi also getting quite a few shots coming up, and there we go. Ace Itachi is also being taken down right now. Aziz is going to be the only guy who is just completely going to bail out from the situation, going for the heals, going for the revivals, and that is going to be the goal for the particular team. If we talk about DS, after losing one good member, teammates is also not looking that sharp, but then again, they have actually attained 3 amazing kills into their perspective, which is not an easy task to go with. Right now, as you can see, 3 amazing kills is already there. On the other part, if we talk about Team Resurrection, they also have 4 amazing finishes, 4 amazing kills. Usama and Goku are the two members who have actually attained 4 amazing kills into the perspective, and now they are actually very close to Katarina, and they are surviving. They are just trying to be a little bit more pacifistic so that eventually, whenever a squad comes in, they will be able to regroup. They will be able to get those utilities which have not been exhausted yet, and eventually use them to get a brighter side onto the particular fights. Exeki is the only guy from Team PK Battalion. Let's see how he's actually going to survive. Exeki SP is actually trying his level best to go ahead and get that resurrection for the teammates. On the other corner, if we talk about Harel Enigma, he jumped and he's way too close to the particular team. So, of course, these closeness are going to be quite critical. As you can see, being in the zone is going to be another goal for this particular team. Beautifully enough, Harel Enigma is also trying his level best to just survive and get some good close calls. Let's see what eventually happens. TG on the other corner still tries to retaliate, still tries to actually go with the fights. On the other corner, Yoto Killers along with, if I'm not wrong, that's Team NC, which is going to be very, very close. So that clash is going to be very amazing. But Yoto Killers finally is out of equation and Team NC still survives. Yoto Killers once again fails to mesmerize our fans because Yoto Killers in the first one, they started it off quite well. A beautiful booyah was there from their corner, but after that, what happened? Yoto Killer wasn't able to capitalize on the standards. On the other corner, some more shots are coming up. Shira is constantly trying his level best to tag out Team Forever, but they fail to do so. And right now, Team NC is actually going to be empty-handed in terms of those shots. But if we talk about Team Forever, still a lot of backlash is coming up. But Fazzu is actually going to boost himself and be back in the game.
Team Forever, they are at the first spot and they are constantly showing up their skills, constantly putting up their best efforts consistently, which is the key factor. I think I'm really looking forward to other games and the next phases because I really have high hopes from this particular team, the way they've been playing. It is absolutely phenomenal. But right now, Team NC with one frag, this team always likes to go to the highest spot possible. And from there, they keep on building. But so far, they haven't been getting so many frags. Yet, they've been managing to get a good number of points. Not really sure whether in the long run, it is going to be a beneficial scenario or not. Because the competition is a cutthroat one. Merely good frags, merely good points is not going to cut. And right now, Team LX, Osama and Goku, 2 guys surviving, 2 guys alive. 5 frags they have in the pocket, and we can see they're heading towards the circle. Circle is not so away, but it's always good to get to the circle as early as possible because once you get into the circle, you get to a good spot, you get to a rock solid compound. From there, you can get easy access to the number of frags, to the number of players that are coming inside the circle. From there, you can try on building a better space for yourself and create an advantage for yourself. But right now, there's a good fight happening. Team TG is engaging. Roman and Sharky, both the players are down. TG is down to one last man. It's going to be a tricky one for them because Sunny is the last man. And he's fighting against the team 4DR. 4DR is currently at the 3rd spot. TG is at the 2nd spot. Let's see which team survives, whether Sunny will be able to come out of this situation. And he makes a great move. He has brought back Zed. I'm really not sure whether he had more tokens or not. But regardless, Zed is coming inside the game back again. Team TG is still in the lobby. And we are down to 8 teams, 26 men, 11.5 minutes. Is it a plane? Is it a bird? No. Again, free frags for the team 4DR.
Indeed, 4DR is basically going to capitalize on that particular perspective, and you can already see how beautiful shots are coming out of the 4DR's corner. Will they be able to contemplate and get some goal finishes? Yes, of course, they are actually going for that kind of scenario, and you can already see how beautifully 4 amazing kills have been delivered. Sasuke on the other corner is also trying to get some good blows. If I talk about Team Forever, right now, this team is more than focused on being one of those teams which are in the top 3 region. And after that, when they are in the top 3, they will be able to get some good blows as well because you have to defend. At that moment, when you are in the top 3, you definitely have to be in a close-up vicinity and you definitely have to put some good shots on that particular team, which is actually rotating in front of you. Meanwhile, if I talk about Team MC, Shira is the only guy who has actually got one amazing kill into his perspective, but the other members, they are constantly trying to recover, constantly trying to put up a significant amount of damage, which is not actually getting delivered at this moment. But still, I guess the next play zones, the next shifts can actually be quite vital for these fights.
See, actually, Team NC has been trying to put in the relevant effort, but clearly failing so far. This is what I could witness. This is what I could conclude. At the moment, Black Fox gets taken down right off the bat, gets finished as well. Three guys still surviving. They've got a good number. Three is generally known to be an unlucky number, but when it comes to the battle, three is considerably a good number. Osama is being survived and revived by Goku. Let's see how far along they can go from this point of time, because from here on, if you do not have a good man number, it is going to be a tough one for you. PK in the meantime, Madara, ESP, Umar, three guys surviving with 4 frags in pocket. They're also at a good spot, but the real deal from here is the real problem issue, I would say, is to make a move inside the circle. They can neither move to the far left corner and try to enter because there's already a team over there, nor they can move from the extreme right corner. They have an option to go straight up to the circle, but I believe from either corner they are going to face the consequences.
So right now they are actually going to face the consequences for sure. So of course they have to actually retaliate. They have to just push their way into the particular play zone. Let's see, is it going to be an easy task or not? That is going to be another huge question coming from a corner. 4DR for the moment. You can already see they have attained 6 amazing kills. If I talk about Team Forever, now they are rising back and forth. Adif with the first amazing blow into his perspective. But after that, if we talk about the next fights, well, this team is empty-handed for the moment. But very soon, I believe Team Forever is actually going to be in a close vicinity where a lot of teams are actually going to surround them, and eventually after that, the fights are actually going to get ignited. For the moment, if we talk about Pazu YK, he's actually trying his level best to just rotate and be in the zone. But you can already see Hawk is getting submerged in some blood, and right now Hawk has been taken out.
Actually, if you ask me, I haven't been able to crack the code. I haven't been able to crack the strategies that are being put on, that are being portrayed, because sometimes they play aggressively, the teams, the entire lobby, and most of the time they're playing very passively. See, late at this late hour in the game, we can still see a couple of teams with barely 1 frag. So I'm not really sure what sort of a strategy this particular lobby is applying. We can see 6 frags, but we haven't been seeing a team that is absolutely obliterating the lobby. Every corner they're trying to secure, and they are indeed securing the frag. We haven't been we haven't witnessed that so far as compared to the Indian lobby, where we could still see a couple of teams showing their sheer dominance, sheer skill set. Right now, in every single game, we witnessed one new team. We are down to 5 teams. We're down to 4 teams now. Resurrection ES has also got down. They also have got eliminated. 4D are still surviving, but this time I think they are at a bad spot. They're down to one last man, Sasuke. Not really sure which team is gonna be able to make it to the Booyah, but it's still going to be a tough one. We are down to 3 teams. So which team is going to get the Booyah? Is it gonna be AS? I think AS haven't got the first Booyah. They haven't got their breakthrough. But this time, oh my god, AJ, what is he doing? PK Battalion, he single-handedly takes down battalions, but yes, it gets eliminated in the second spot, could not secure their first Booyah, and oh my god, forever, once again, they've got their Booyah, and Team Forever, that was a great game. Team Forever, that was indeed a great game. 2 Booyahs in the 6 matches, and the cherry on the top is this team has been playing sensationally well so far. In every single game, they managed to get good number of frags, good number of points, regardless of how they played. Everything, every move that they made was on point. They did get good number of points in every single game, and towards the end, this is a well-deserved team who went to the top and retained their first spot constantly throughout.
I mean, for sure, this is one of those well-deserved teams that is actually attaining some good blows, and I guess I won't be surprised to see them at #1 in terms of the leaderboard, along with the triple-digit marker into their perspective. This could be the only team which is actually going to touch the 100-digit 100 pointers to be precise in the
Clearly.
leaderboard, and that is actually going to be quite exciting to watch as well. On the other corner, if we talk about teams like TG, they're trying to catch up, but they are unable to. They are failing to do so. And if we talk about Team Yoto Killer, yet again, one of those amazing teams which are disappointing for the last 5 matches. First one, they opened it quite well. It was like, let's say, a
Yes.
grand opening for the Pakistani qualifiers. But after that, what happened? Yoto Killers was unable to get even 2 or 3 kills. I'm not talking about the position points at this moment. I'm talking about the kills. They're unable to take a one single fight or one 4v4 type of fight into a perspective, into their consideration. But I believe I should not be that harsh on that particular team because they were able to open it up. And I believe they are going to open it up once again in the next upcoming days, which are going to be there for the Pakistani qualifiers. Interesting matches are about to be there, guys. Interesting backlashes are going to be there from these particular teams. But eventually, Booyah is something which has been repeated by Team Forever 2 times for this day.
And we are all waiting for the points table to come up, but we can clearly see, and every single guy that is watching the match, every Free Fire Max fanatic from the Pakistan region already knows that Team Forever is going to be able to sit on top right now. They have already touched the 3-digit mark. They've crossed the century. This is what we all believe, and I believe they have done it pretty nicely, and they are way beyond the 110 mark. 110 somewhere down the line, I think they have already crossed 110 mark, and they have already created a huge buffer between them and the second spot. So from now on, if Team Forever continues same sort of consistency, the other team, they'll be fighting for the second and third spot only, because once the buffer is used, the other teams, they simply let you go, because they already realize that regardless, even if they try to take you down, there are equal number of chances, there are equal percentage of chance that you, Team Forever, in this instance, will be able to take down all the other team, because the confidence is too high for other teams to handle. They are at a better spot. So
Hmm.
in the second day, if other teams manage to drag them down in the third or fourth spot, they will have a chance. But if Team Forever continues with the same consistency in the second day, I think they easily would be able to create a buffer of more than 50 points.
And if that actually happens, the pressure is going to be immense on the remaining teams which are surviving. The remaining
Yes.
11 teams are actually going to feel the thunder coming from Forever's corner. But right now, I believe the overall standings are coming up. And once again, as usual, we are going to get the suspense from the production team. Hashtag 12 is actually going to get appointed by RGA Esports with zero chicken dinners and 0 points. I believe this is the team which is missing out all the fun in the qualifiers. If we talk about Team Empire, 6 amazing matches that they have actually played. They have attained total points 34 and no boyas for them. And if we talk about ringleader, 0 points for 39 points for them at hashtag 10. And if we talk about hashtag 9 position, Team RTR is actually going to be there with 49 points. Yoto Killers is the only team with a booyah at the second page. That is something which I'm actually, which I didn't wanted to see.
Actually, talking about Yoto Killer, there's one funny thing happening right now.
Hmm.
From the very first game, they managed to get 12 Booyah points, and rest of the 5 games, they could not survive. They barely
Hmm.
managed to get 12 points out of 10 points out of rest of the 5 game. From
Yeah.
second to the sixth game, they barely managed to get 10 points. From the very first game, they got a Booyah point that was 12. So they are in a bad spot. They have
Right.
to reconsider all their moves. They have to look at the game. They have to analyze, observe all the movements. And there we go. Top six. Team Resurrection coming out at the sixth
Oh.
spot with one booyah and 58 points. Then we have a Team All Stars at the fifth place with 59 points. Then we have Team Aegon DP at the fourth place with one booyah. Team No Chance without a single booyah, Team No Chance and Team All Star. Both the teams have managed to come to the first page. And then we have none other than Team TG at the second position with the one booyah, 78 total points. And there we go. Team Forever. Everybody knew this thing is going to happen, even though it is quite an upsetting thing that
Mhm.
they could not manage to hit the 100 mark. But still, considerably, they have managed to stay at the top. Initially, Team TG was there, but then eventually Team Forever took up the lead and they kept on building on it. The lead in the past few games, it was barely of 2 points, and now the lead is somewhere around 20 points, somewhere around 20 points, and it's a good number. It is indeed a good number. If their form continues, it's going to be a huge trouble for rest of the 10 teams, because the lobby is with 11 teams. Forever is playing exceptionally well. They've been giving us highlights for the ages. They are trying to write their own history. So all the other teams should look out for Team Forever Esports.
They have to look out that how this team is performing, how they're evolving all together in the gameplay. Well, in the start, I guess we saw this team performing very aggressively. But what happened after that? They were trying to actually play very, very passively. In a few matches, they actually showed their kind of strategy. After that, their strategy paid off. See, in this particular one, Booyah, in the sixth match, if I'm not wrong, the number of points that they have attained in terms of the kills is not that much. But then again, they have got the
Yes.
Booyah. So that was absolutely amazing. On that note, guys, we can already say that the performance coming from Team 4 was absolutely amazing. But Team TG was also not falling short, I believe. And in the next upcoming days, there is actually going to be a tug of war between these two giants. And if we talk about Yoto Killers, well, you opened it up quite well. Now, I guess we want to see you ending it up quite well. So, yeah, we'll be waiting for that kind of consistency as well.
And yes, it is about time we get over with the day. We bid our farewell to the management, to the viewers that are watching. So this is me, Insane, and I have alongside Raider. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Signing out. We'll be back tomorrow.
Coming like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. Coming like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat.